Here in St. Petersburg, Florida, Fox Saturday Baseball brings you two of the three powerhouses in the AL East. It's the Boston Red Sox against the Tampa Bay Rays. And the Red Sox with the best record in the American League, just ahead of the Yankees, who are in second, and the Rays now 5 games behind Boston in third place in the division. And welcome, everyone, to St. Petersburg. Dick Stockton along with Tim McCarver. The Red Sox had won 10 of 11 games before the Rays prevailed last night, but this is going to be a tough fight in the division the rest of the way. And pleased to welcome in Tim McCarver, fresh from his 20th All-Star broadcast in Tuesday in Arizona. And when you look at the Boston Red Sox at this particular point, what do you foresee in the near future for them?
Well, Dick, I think they're going to have to continue to bludgeon the opponents like they've done in the first half. The difference is now they don't have the pitching to support it. They're missing Clay Buchholz and John Lester. John Lester could come back next weekend, but they're going to have to continue their hot hitting. I mean, their offense is one of the best ever, really.
No question about it. Now, the Rays know they're going to have to surpass the Red Sox or the Yankees or both to make the playoffs, and they have the rest of the season 35% of the remainder of their schedule against those teams.
That's right, and you know, that could be a trap because the team as a whole looks too far down the road. And I think Joe Madden is right when he preaches to his team, forget yesterday, forget tomorrow, today's the most important thing. That solves that problem.
No question. And the big picture, of course, the Yankees in this AL East race, and the defending champions, the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Red Sox, who many had thought would win this division easily. Coming up, the first pitch next from St. Pete. Last night, and right now here is today's starting lineup for the Red Sox, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Facing the very tough James Shields, Jacoby Ellsbury will be in center field, Dustin Pedroia at second, Adrian Gonzalez at first base, and batting cleanup Kevin Youkilis at third. David Ortiz will be the DH, J.D. Drew at right field, Jared Saltalamacchia behind the plate, Josh Reddick in left field, and batting ninth, Marco Scutaro at shortstop, facing James Shields, who comes in very impressive. 7 complete games to lead the major leagues and 3 shutouts, and that includes one against the Red Sox.
What do the British call it? A turnaround. Well, this is a turnaround season for James Shields. 360. Last year's earned run average 5.18. This year 2.33. A sensational changeup to go with a good curveball, says Joe Madden. And he finishes what he starts. Now consider this. James Shields has 7 complete games. The individual James Shields. The Boston Red Sox have 1 complete game among their pitchers.
And this opening pitch brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And what James Shields is hoping, Tim, is that he gets some batting support from his hitters. Rays have scored more than 4 runs in only 4 of his 19 starts.
That's what pitching coaches try to preach to pitchers. Eliminate what you can't control.
Jacoby Ellsbury shows bunt and takes ball 1, and we're underway. And what a comeback. Talking about turnarounds, Jacoby Ellsbury hitting .315, 6th in the league. 12 homers, 50 runs batted in. Pretty solid for a leadoff hitter and leading the league in stolen bases. Takes a strike, and it's 1-1.
That's after playing only 18 games last year. 78 at-bats for Jacoby Ellsbury last year. So he's just happy to be healthy, and is he ever producing?
What a frustrating season it was for Ellsbury last year, and the breaking ball fouled away, and the count 1-2. Last night the Red Sox hit 4 home runs that came up on the short end of a 9-6 game, and most of those homers were solo shots. Ben Zobrist hit a grand slam as the Rays scored the most runs they have had all year here at the Trop. Slap to the shortstop. Brignac not in time, and the fleet Ellsbury beats it out for an infield hit.
Casey Kotzman tried to help Brignac out by cheating at first base. But with a ball hit like that, Ellsbury's running on contact. That, by the way, his 49th 2-strike hit all year. Both he and Pedroia have been sensational when they've been behind in the count, and that's unusual.
And speaking of Pedroia, he comes to the plate with a .289 mark, 12 homers and 45 runs batted in. And he has now hit safely in 13 consecutive games, and that is a season's high for him in the longest current streak. So a dangerous situation facing Shields here. First pitch, strike.
Also a dangerous situation for Jacoby Ellsbury at first, because Shields leads the majors in pickoffs with 10.
And you know Ellsbury's aware of that with his 28 stolen bases. Also has been caught 10 times, tied for the league lead.
Right.
So he's got to watch himself a bit. Does not have a big lead here. And the pitch on the inside corner, and Shields is ahead of Pedroia 0-2. Pedroia went 3 for 4 last night. Only needed a triple for the cycle, and he has been torrid since the 1st of June, hitting .362.
Thing about Shields, he comes set above the shoulders and has very quick feet. Most right-handed pitchers with good moves to first have to have quick feet.
Adrian Gonzalez is on deck. The 0-2 pitch in the dirt. Kelly Shopik, the former Red Sox player, starting behind the plate tonight.
Yeah, Kelly signed with the Red Sox initially. Good play right here, scooping that ball from Shields.
Shopik.
Throw to first. That's a courtesy throw right there. That was given from the bench. You could see the thumb from Shopik. Usually if you see that from your living room at home, that is a throw to first. So that sets the scene for the rest of the game.
So Shopik, who set up on the outside part of the plate before that last throw to first. See where he sets up here. And Pedroia, as Terry Francona told us, shortening his swing with 2 strikes.
He's as good as they come in that regard.
Fake and a chopper to the right side. Zobrist spins, makes the play to first as Ellsbury goes to second. And there's 1 out for the Red Sox. Let's take a look at the Rays defensively. Sam Fuld, B.J. Upton, and Matt Joyce in the outfield. Evan Longoria, Reed Grignat, Ben Zobrist, and Casey Kochman in the infield. And Shopik behind the plate, catching James Shields, 8-7 on the year. And his 2.33 earned run average into the All-Star break, best all time for any Rays pitcher. And how about Adrian Gonzalez, leading the league in hitting amongst other amazing offensive showing this year, hitting .350. 17 homers, 77 runs batted in, fouls off the first pitch.
He has been a hitting monster, playing in the same park as the Green Monster this year.
Coming off the All-Star game where he hit the home run, also in the home run derby, and they said that he swung the bat something like 61 times on Monday and Tuesday.
Actually had an ice bag on his right shoulder for the game on Tuesday, which is very rare. Home run hitting contest took its toll on Adrian Gonzalez until he swung the second time, the home run against Cliff Lee in the All-Star game.
Fooled on the off-speed breaking ball, and the count 0-2 now. So Shields, who got ahead of Pedroia, 2 strikes, now is 0-2 to Adrian Gonzalez. And look at those ranks on the right side of that column.
Dominance.
Everything and more for what the Red Sox had hoped for, coming over from San Diego, and as you said, playing in the Green Monster, a much more friendly hitter's park for him. And strikes out for out number 2. 2 down. Ellsbury remains at second, and Kevin Youkilis is coming to the plate.
1, 2, 3 to get Adrian Gonzalez. That does not happen much this year. He fouls off the first fastball, then 2 curveballs. I mean, wicked curves get Gonzalez.
So Gonzalez goes down. He was 0 for 4 in last night's game. And here's Youkilis hitting .288, 13 homers and 64 runs batted in. That's 7th in the league. Ellsbury, who's safe on an infield hit and advanced on a ground ball, is at second. And the count is 1-0 to Youkilis, who was picked for his 3rd All-Star game and delivered with a base hit in the 7th inning Tuesday.
He was the last American leaguer picked, and someone asked him the question about being the last. He said, what difference does it make? And I agree with him.
I think any player would want to be last.
Hey, it doesn't matter. First, last, in the middle.
Always.
Get me there.
2 balls and no strikes. And he was delighted to make the trip to the Arizona desert for that game. 2 out.
Got a single on an inside fastball, too, in that game. Won by the National League 5-1.
Gets a fastball here and fouls it off, 2-1. Red Sox had won their last 6 games heading into the All-Star break. They have had some pretty solid winning streaks during the year, including 9 in a row in early June, and the Texas Rangers have matched that. They have won now 9 straight games. Ellsbury with the lead at second, and pulling the breaking ball way out of play is Youkilis, and the count now 2-2. Rays have won 4 out of 6 against the Red Sox this season. And there you see, with runners in scoring position, Youkilis has been especially tough. And gets hit on the hand and will go to first base.
Kevin Youkilis has the record of being hit by a pitch by a Red Sox player. That's the 79th time he's been hit in his career. That's an all-time Red Sox record, and that's one record you hope you don't set. Looked like it hit the right elbow, the upper part of the forearm. It was a changeup, so Uke's all right.
So Ellsbury still at second, Youkilis the runner at first, and here is Big Papi David Ortiz, hitting an even 300 on the year with 19 homers and 55 runs batted in. He is appealing his 4-game suspension as a result of the melee against the Orioles a week ago last night. Kevin Gregg also receiving 4 games. And they say that Ortiz likely will be able to play against the Orioles. Next stop for the Red Sox. Shot, and playing perfectly is Zobrist, just to the right of second base, and he gets the force to retire the side. 1 hit and 2 are left. Red Sox don't score, and the Rays coming up in the first. Today, and here's today's starting lineup for the Rays, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun against John Lackey. It'll be Johnny Damon, the DH. Ben Zobrist hitting second. Casey Kotzman batting third. Evan Longoria in the cleanup spot. Matt Joyce, followed by B.J. Upton. Sam Fuld hitting seventh. Kelly Shopik batting eighth, and Reed Rinyat batting ninth for the Rays against John Lackey. And the Red Sox are hoping that he has a second straight quality start, because they have been few and far between for him this year, Tim.
Yeah, his last start, he had 6 2/3 innings of shutout ball. Maybe his best start as a Red Sox. And for John, off to a poor start, but he's hoping to double things up today. He'll throw the curveball anytime. And he's one of 2 healthy starters. Josh Beckett, by the way, is the other, and he will be the starter tomorrow night as the Rays and Red Sox wrap this thing up.
Johnny Damon looks at strike one. Rays DH batting .278. 9 homers and 41 runs batted in. Slaps it out of play, and Youkilis playing wide of third and was even with the bag, but now with the count 0-2, he moves back. Damon has moved from 85th to 68th on the all-time hits list this year alone. And he hits a ground ball, one hopper to Scudero, wide throw, and Damon is safe. And that should have been a routine play for Scudero, and Damon is aboard.
You know what happened? I think the ball, in backing up, hit the edge of the fingers of Scudero, because after that throw, he was shaking his right hand. The ball took a funny hop. I think what it may have done is nick the middle finger or the index finger going into the glove. That'll happen sometimes when you reach in there too quickly. The ball's not there yet, and there's Scudero shaking that hand. I believe that's what happened, and that's the reason the throw was errant.
So an error charge to Scudero. We're seeing two of the better fielding teams in the American League on display. Here's Ben Zobrist, and he takes ball one outside. Zobrist with a big grand slam home run. First of the year for the Rays and the 5th career grand slam for Zobrist as the Rays took an early 7-2 lead and held off the Red Sox the rest of the way. There goes Damon, and the pitch is fouled off. Damon got a great jump on that pitch.
John Lackey is a good pitcher on whom to hit and run because he throws a lot of ground balls. And that's one of the things the manager tries to do, is to get the hitter a good pitch to hit. If a pitcher's wild, there's no sense in putting on the hit and run. If the pitcher throws a four-seamer, high fastballs, don't put the hit and run on. But Lackey, it's perfect.
Damon has 7 stolen bases, and Zobrist fouls it at the plate. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. This was the grand slam last night in the 2nd inning against Andrew Miller, and it gave the Rays a 5-1 lead. It was the first Rays grand slam since June 3rd of 2009, or the first for Zobrist since that date. Casey Kochman also going deep for Tampa Bay. 1-2 to Zobrist. Runner doesn't go, and a check swing, and they appeal to the third base umpire, who Mike DeMuro, who said that Zobrist did not go around.
That was a good pitch, a cut fastball, and on the hands of Ben Zobrist.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and Casey Kochman on deck for the Rays. Ground ball, center field, base hit. Damon rounds second, heading for third, and will make it standing up. So Ben Zobrist with a single, and Damon, who reached on an error, and the Rays threatened with runners at first and third, nobody out.
The one thing the Rays preach to their base runners is to think in terms of 2. When you're the hitter, think second base when you hit the ball. When you're on at first, think third base. When you're on at second, think home. So instead of going 1 base at a time, Joe Maddon has done a very, very good job. And he learned this and helped employ that with Mike Scioscia and the Angels, who go from first to third as well as anybody.
And Joe Maddon said the only thing this team is missing is offense. Our pitching and our defense have been outstanding. We got to score more runs. They did last night. And they're off to the good start here. First and third, nobody out. Here's Casey Kochman, takes a strike. Kochman is batting .339 with 4 homers and 27 runs batted in, making his 35th consecutive start at first base. Hit his first homer since June the 16th last night, and that too was against these Red Sox. Runners at the corners, nobody out, and throw to first base. Not much of a lead there by Zobrist.
By the way, Casey Kochman's father, Tom Kochman, managed his 3,000th minor league game yesterday. Tom Kochman, there's nobody more respected in the Angels organization. He has taught so many young players how to play the game, how to hit, field, the rudiments of the game.
And a call strike. It's 0-2 to Kochman. So normally you call your dad and you say, I hit a home run. But his dad had the better milestone, didn't he?
That's right. That's right. We didn't talk to Casey about whether he called his father and said, Dad, congratulations. We'll check on that. That was great, though.
No balls, 2 strikes. Rays threaten. Runners at first and third, nobody out, and Evan Longoria on deck. And here is Kochman's home run, a 2-run drive off of the former Ray Dan Wheeler, and that made it 9-3 in favor of the Rays. So there were 6 home runs in all here at the Trop in the series opener. Lackey is ahead of Kochman, 2 strikes. And takes down low. What an acquisition. Signed to a minor league contract. And Kochman has been quite a find for Joe Maddon.
Went to the AAA affiliate of the Rays, Durham, the Durham Bulls, and was recalled on April 8th, and has been hitting like he's never hit in the major leagues before.
339, I should say so. The obligatory fake to third, stepping off the rubber. Have you ever seen that work?
I've seen it work occasionally. I think it should be outlawed. Nothing against John Lackey or any pitcher that does it, but talking about slowing down the game.
And a slow hit bounding ball off the glove of Scutaro, safe at first. The run scores as Kochman reaches. And it took Scutaro all he could do to get to that ball, actually, as he stopped it from going into center field. Kochman has an infield hit, an RBI. Damon scores, and the Rays lead 1-0.
Good hitting by Kochman, but that ball has got to be fielded. Scutaro, the ball hit the heel of the glove. I think it's going to be scored a base hit, and it is. Could have been an error, but that would have been a very, very tough error.
So 1-0, the Rays jump in front as Johnny Damon scores, and here's Evan Longoria. And when Joe Maddon talked about getting our offense better, as you see Zobrist at second, Kochman at first, he was referring number one to Longoria, who has been off to a slow start, picked it up as of late in run production, and takes ball one, hitting only .235, 11 homers, 42 runs batted in, 0 for his last 11.
Yeah, how about his hitting here at the Trop? 184 all year. Just a matter of time.
Ground ball to Scutaro, and makes a tough throw, but a great play by Pedroia to keep his foot on the bag and get the force. So Scutaro's throw was low, but Pedroia kept his foot on the bag, made the play for the force.
All things indicate Marco Scutaro's got a bad middle finger. But that play that happened to lead off the game, and this errant throw, good play by Pedroia on the short hop. And immediately when Scutaro threw the ball, he was looking at the middle finger on his right hand.
And now still looking at it, obviously bothered by that. And Matt Joyce coming to the plate. Ben Zobrist advances to third. So with one out, once again, the Rays runners at first and third. And Joyce, who was an all-star, 41 runs batted in, 12 homers to go along with his .289 average. Rays looking for more, and the first pitch is ball one. And you asked Joe Maddon about, how far he thought Matt Joyce has come.
Yeah, I said, Joe, did you ever think that Matt Joyce would be an all-star? He said no. He's very honest about it. He said he's a good hitter, and we knew he was going to be a good hitter. But an all-star? Not only that, but 1 for 2 in Phoenix on Tuesday night.
And elected by the players, and of course any player that goes there knowing that the jury of his peers said you should be there means a lot.
It sure does.
2 balls and no strikes to Joyce. Zobrist at third, Kochman, or I should say Longoria, the runner at first, and a base hit to right field will score Zobrist. Rounding second is Longoria, who'll go to third, and the Rays take a 2-0 lead. They're playing first to third baseball here in the first inning at the Trop. Joyce with his 42nd run batted into the year.
I think anybody who follows the Tampa Bay Rays know that this is their game right here. First to third. Few long balls. Occasionally you'll get one like last night in the grand slam. But take advantage of the opponent's errors and go from first to third.
So a rough start once again for John Lackey. Scutaro obviously working that hand in the glove here. Here's B.J. Upton, squares to bunt and fouls it at the plate for a strike.
That's a safety squeeze, and it almost backfired as Longoria came too far. He was halfway down the line, and the Red Sox didn't react in time. The Rays put that play on often. They'll try to steal a run with a bunt to third base, have the third baseman field the ball, and then walk home when he goes to first. Longoria almost too far, and Saltalamacchia not quick enough to see that he was off that far.
Joyce at first and Longoria at third, still only one out. And Upton takes the ball 1-1 to B.J. Upton, who comes in leading the Rays in home runs, RBIs, and stolen bases. He's hit 15 homers with 51 runs batted in, and yet we heard a lot of talk that B.J. Upton could be a player that the Rays might deal. It's surprising with the team in a race. And there goes the squeeze play again, and it's fouled off to the right. And that was a suicide squeeze in that play.
Joe Madden likes to work that, whether it's early in the game. This is an old Gene Mock play. You can see Longoria went a couple of steps, then he stopped, then he went.
Not quite a suicide squeeze because he could have gone back to third.
It's almost a variation of between a suicide and a safety squeeze.
Thin line there.
But Joe Madden got that from Gene Mock. That was a Gene Mock play, and nobody had more respect for him than Madden.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Protecting the plate, Upton fouls it out of play, and it remains 1-2.
Here's that first play where Marco Scutaro may have hurt his hand trying to get the hand in before the ball's there, and it could have just tipped that middle finger. I think that's what happened. The throw was wide, and it opened things up for at least 2 runs here in the first.
And a line drive to left field. It'll be a base hit. Reddick retrieves, but another run crosses the plate. Longoria comes around as Upton knocks in his 52nd run of the game. And it is now a 3-0 Tampa Bay lead.
You know, one of Terry Francona's best lines is to keep the line moving. Well, that's exactly what the Rays are doing here in the first inning.
And Curt Young, the pitching coach for the Red Sox, going to the mound to talk to John Lackey. Talked about how Lackey did well in blanking the Orioles for 5 2/3. Prior to that, had his problems. Reddick, Ellsbury, and J.D. Drew in the outfield for the Red Sox defensively. Youkilis, Scutaro, Pedroia, and Gonzalez in the infield. Saltalamacchia behind the plate, and John Lackey, who snapped a 3-game losing streak with that last outing against the Orioles, having trouble once again. And there you see, struggling here, and not all of his own doing. Some of them have been infield hits and an error. So following the error, there have been 4 singles for the Rays. Joyce at second, Upton at first, 1 away, and Sam Fuld taking ball 1. Fuld hitting .240 with 3 homers and 24 runs batted in, and hitting 7th for the Rays today. Fuld has done well against Boston, 8 for 16 and 6 runs batted in his 4 career games, and it's 1-1 to him. So there you see, when Lackey is solid, he's very, very good. When he struggles, and diving back to second, no throw there as Joyce gets back. Red Sox had so much high hopes for Lackey, and I guess at the time they might have thought he would be the second pitcher behind Beckett.
Yeah, that's right, because he was the ace for the Angels and a big game pitcher, winning Game 7 of the 2002 World Series against the San Francisco Giants, only 21 years old at the time.
19-9 in the 2007 year with a 3.01 earned run average. He had won at least 10 games in each of the last 8 seasons. And there's a ground ball to Pedroia, over to Scutaro, and the Red Sox get out of it with a double play, but not before the damage is done, as the Rays score 3 runs off of Lackey. There was an error thrown in, and a 3-0 Tampa Bay lead. Think outside the bun by DirecTV. Now NFL Sunday Ticket is included at no extra charge. And by Gillette Fusion Pro Glide, turn shaving into gliding and skeptics into believers. 3-0 Rays. 2 of their runs were earned, and of their 4 hits, 3 of them came with 2 strikes. Marco Scutaro being worked on in the dugout.
You know, we said it was his middle finger, but I believe it's his index finger. It's hard to tell, but after that treatment from their trainer, he went back and held that index finger. So we think it was his index finger that was snipped on that ground ball, first play ahead of the game.
J.D. Drew, Red Sox are wishing and hoping that J.D. Drew comes around, and big chopper to Zobrist, and Drew is retired for the first out in the second. Time now for today's Ford Keys to the Game.
Yeah, they're pretty obvious from a Red Sox standpoint. There is no lead that is too big for them to overcome. I mean, they're going to try to continue that torrid hitting, and the Rays, who have not played well at home, in fact, they're averaging more than 2 runs per game on the road than they are at home. That's one of the oddest statistics, but they're trying to make last night a habit.
Jared Saltalamacchia is stepping in. In fact, now with a 22-21 record, the Rays are over 500 for the first time all year here at home. Saltalamacchia taking ball 1, hitting .247, 6 homers and 24 runs batted in. And the Red Sox have to be very pleased with their catching tandem of Saltalamacchia and Jason Varitek.
Jared is kind of a work in progress, trying to get his feet under him, catching a very good pitching staff when they're healthy. And what a resurgence by Jason Varitek. I mean, what a job he has done this year.
2-1 with 1 out, and it's now 3-1 as Shields falls behind.
That's it. When you think about it, Dick, that is the toughest position to mount a comeback in as a catcher, because usually when your offense leaves you from a catcher standpoint, it never comes back. With Varitek, it has come back, and he's had a pretty decent year offensively this year.
And there was some question as to whether the Red Sox would continue his services.
Right. That's exactly right. They got him very cheaply this year, but he deserves a lot of credit in rejuvenating that offense.
Josh Reddick, he's looked very solid for the Red Sox. hitting the .387 with 2 homers and 15 runs batted in, and has hit well against the Rays. Takes high ball 1, and now Shopik will go to the mound. Shields walking Saltalamacchia on a 3-1 count, now behind 1-0 to Reddick. Reddick from 25 miles near Savannah, Guyton, Georgia. Will be followed by the 9th hitter Marco Scudero. 1 out. Red Sox with a runner at first. 2-0 to the young left fielder. James Shields making his 20th start of the year. Coming off that shutout the last time he faced the Red Sox, but now having trouble with his location. He walked Saltalamacchia, now behind 3-0 to Reddick.
Very unusual for James Shields this year. Remember, a 2.33 earned run average, 4th in the American League. So here with the 3-run lead, he's walked a batter. There's no sense in throwing to first base with the count 3-0, by the way, because no runners run on 3-0. So they're not going to take a big lead. So why throw over there?
And the Red Sox are trailing 3-0 anyway.
That's exactly right.
Fastball in there for the strike, 3-1. Red Sox leading the American League in hitting, leading in runs. They've scored 22 more runs than the next highest total, the Texas Rangers. 3rd in home runs, 1st in walks, so they go deep into the count. 3-1 pitch and a big cut by Ellsbury, fouled back. Let's go back to June the 14th. Complete game shutout for Shields right here against the Red Sox, giving up 5 hits, striking out 5. And it was his 3rd shutout of the season, a Rays record and a career high. And Ortiz flied out to Justin Ruggiano for the final out. Ellsbury just got a piece of it. Stays alive, and the count full. Or Reddick, that is. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Josh Reddick. Scudero on deck.
Reddick caught a break with Shopik dropping the foul tip. See if he capitalizes on it.
And a fly ball deep to right field. Way back and gone. Josh Reddick with his 3rd home run of the season. And that is the 5th homer for the Red Sox in this series. Have cut the lead to 1. 3-2.
Did he ever capitalize on it? This was the first 3-2 pitch. Foul tip. Almost held on to by Shopik. No second chance for Shields. 3-2 game.
Kind of reminds me, going way back before many people remember the '75 World Series when Bernie Carbo foul tipped a ball.
That's right.
Johnny Bench behind the plate.
In the 8th inning with 2 on, he ultimately hit a 3-run homer, and that set the stage for Fisk in the 11th. And you called it. Hello. My partner called it.
You know, when you're around,
listen,
you're going to do something.
What do you mean you're going to do something? You were a chosen broadcaster that night. I mean, that's fabulous. It was your call of Carlton Fisk, one of the most dramatic home runs in the history of the game.
Well, it still ranks as my #1 thrill, and I've done a lot of broadcasts of different sports since that time. It's still #1.
It should be.
You know, it's amazing when you are in an event like that, you don't know really how big it is until time passes. Immediately you don't say this will be one of the all-time greats. It's amazing.
That affected the game like it did. I mean, some people, and I'm inclined to agree also, saying that World Series really brought baseball back into focus. The next year free agency happened. Baseball just burgeoned with the success, and to think that Game 6 with Pudge hitting, how many times have we seen it? 2,000. That's great.
Jim Hickey going to the mound as Shields has walked Scudero, second man he's walked this inning, sandwiched around a home run by Josh Reddick. Well, next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, the Braves look to keep pace in the NL East. They take on Joey Votto and the Reds, while the Padres battle the NL East leading Phillies. The Tigers square off against the Twins. Next week's telecast of Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by AT&T, begins at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. Check your local listings for the game and start time in your area. And you're so right, Tim, because the A's had won 3 World Series, but there was a pall over baseball. Nothing exciting. That's right. Why they went to the DH went into effect at that point.
In 73,
the colorful uniforms, and Charlie Finley had the A's.
Sure.
And that kind of that series. And the Reds, a lot of people, Johnny Bench always says, Dick, don't forget who won that World Series. Here's Jacoby Ellsbury.
Johnny also told me a story about going back to Binger, Oklahoma. They had a parade for him. Binger, a town of about 3,500 people, and nobody was at the parade. The reason? Everybody in town was in the parade. They had no spectators.
Ellsbury count no balls and 2 strikes.
Johnny stands by that story.
If Johnny said it, it's got to be true.
That's right.
Ellsbury with an infield hit in the first inning. Red Sox stranded 2 against James Shields. And the Rays got 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning. The Red Sox getting 2 back on Josh Reddick's 2-run homer. And Ellsbury strikes out. Now time for a DirecTV game break. CC Sabathia gets JP Arenciba swinging. 8th strikeout for CC, who wins his 14th game. And there's Travis Snyder grounding out to end the game as Mariano Rivera picks up his 23rd save, and the Yankees win 4-1 and cut the deficit against the Red Sox to 1 game. A good stop there again by Shopping, as Pedroia at the plate grounded out his first time up. Red Sox 1 game ahead of the Yankees and 5 in front of the Rays. Going to have a healthy dose of Yankees and Red Sox the rest of the way for Tampa Bay. As you said in the opening, 35% of the games played by the Rays will be against the Yankees and Red Sox. Pedroia lifts it in the air to B.J. Upton territory. Plenty of room, and that'll do it. But Josh Reddick with his 3rd homer, a 2-run drive. There it is, Reddick with the home run, cutting the Rays lead to 3-2 in the middle of the second. by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Rays leading the Red Sox 3-2 in the bottom of the second inning, and Kelly Shopik leading off against John Lackey. A strike to Shopik, batting 180 with 5 homers and 15 runs batted in. Hoping last night is a sign of things to come. Was 1 for 22 since late June. 2 for 3 last night. Outside, John Jaso on the DL with an oblique injury. So Jose Lobaton, prospect that the Rays want to see what he can do, was called up last evening and appeared as a defensive replacement.
You can see John Lackey wearing that outside corner out. I think you're trained from your early days as a catcher. Never try to jam a guy with an open stance. He's too quick inside. That's why he opens up. Kelly Shopik open with that left foot toward third. Lackey will probably stay away.
And he is. And Shopik goes after it and strikes out. Out number 1 and the first strikeout of the game for Lackey. There is Terry Francona, and I always called him Terry, but more and more people are saying Tito. Of course, his dad, Tito Francona, was a solid player in Major League Baseball. Once, I think, hit 363.
1959 for Cleveland. Yeah, you asked Terry if he was called Terry anymore. He said, I don't know. I'm not sure.
He says, when I mess up, I'm called Terry.
Oh, yeah. I said, or Francona. He said, yeah, that more than when I mess up. It's Francona. We Americans have that penchant for calling each other by our last names when we don't agree with them.
Reed Brignac, 0-1 to him with 1 out. And he lines that over the head of Scudero for a base hit to left center. Ellsbury retrieves, and the big turn by Brignac. That's the 5th hit of the game for the Rays.
Well, the Rays have been trying to make Reed think left field to get that shoulder in the proper position, and he hits it to left field. Brignac coming into the game hitting below 200, the 8th lowest average in the major leagues.
So the top of the order for the second straight inning, Johnny Damon, who reached on that error by Scudero. That started all the problems he had with what is shown to be his index finger. And 2 of the 3 runs earned in that first inning for the Rays. And Damon checking with Tom Foley, the third base coach. There's Scudero, and there goes the runner, and the pitch fouled off. So the hit and run, and coming back will be Brignac.
You think about this game, it's the bottom of the second inning as you look at Johnny Damon. 104 triples. This is among active players. Over 1,600 runs. And 98 hits behind A-Rod. 336 from 3,000.
On the corner for the strike, 1-2 now to Damon.
I was going to say, Dick, that you think about this game. Here it is, the bottom of the second inning. The Rays have made 4 outs, and already they've tried to hit and run 2 times, once successfully. They tried 2 safety squeezes and have run the bases proficiently. That's their game.
And that's when you get men on base.
Yep.
And a foul ball down the left field line. And when you have the lead early, you can do that.
That's right. Take more chances with the lead.
Johnny Damon, in his 17th season, been in the All-Star game twice, both during his 4-year career with the Red Sox, and a very popular player and a great fan favorite wherever he's gone.
That is absolutely true.
Those were his numbers with the Red Sox. Throw to first, diving back is Brignac. 1 out, 1 on here in the Rays' second.
He and Kevin Millar were the ones who started that idiot phase in 2004. What did you do in 2004? Oh, I was an idiot for the Red Sox.
But we won.
Won the World Series for the first time since 1918.
And there it is. Here's the home run by Damon, the grand slam off of Javier Vasquez. Looks a little different now, doesn't he?
A bit. He has had some career.
Well, you know he's had a great career when they have a bobblehead doll day for you, which they're going to have tomorrow.
Mañana, right?
Yeah, for Johnny Damon. And he fouls it off. So this is what the early arrivals will get. Although I will say it looks like as if Johnny Damon is a quarterback looking to throw downfield.
It does. With the, of course, he's a left-handed thrower, but looks like he's a right-handed thrower.
Who's quibbling?
With the stiff arm, stiff arming a 320-pound lineman.
Lead by Brignac. Once again, the 2-2 pitch, and Damon stays alive. A good at-bat here for Johnny Damon here in the second inning against John Lackey. Next pitch will be the 7th pitch to Damon.
Now, Johnny has the most, and Red Sox fans are certainly used to seeing that type swing. Such an unorthodox approach, particularly with 2 strikes.
And a line drive, base hit to right field. And stopping at second will be Brignac as Drew gets it back in the infield. So now 6 hits off of John Lackey, and we've only played an inning and a third here for the Rays.
Unorthodox, but it works. One-handed to right field.
6 hits, all singles.
It's almost that the worse the pitch, the worse the swing.
And the better he likes it.
Yeah.
So runners at first and second, 1 out, and Ben Zobrist, who singled to center field and scored one of the 3 runs in the first inning, and goes around for a strike. 0-1 to Ben Zobrist. Knocked in 5 runs last night, and is second to Adrian Gonzalez of the Red Sox in doubles. Same pitch as the last one, and this time Zobrist holds up, and the count 1-1. John Lackey, who is 11-4 lifetime against the Rays. He had 1 5-year stretch. He won 7 straight against Tampa Bay, but in the last couple of years has not really had it against the Rays. 2-3. This is his first start this year against them. And now it's 2-1 to Zobrist with Casey Kochman on deck. Brignac, who singled with 1 out, is the runner at second. Johnny Damon, who's been on base twice, reached on an error, and the single. 2 on, 1 out. Lackey in a jam for the second straight inning. And now behind 3-1 and 1 pitch away from loading the bases. 45 pitches already thrown by Lackey, and we have just 1 out here in the second.
Dangerous situation. A guy who hit a grand slam home run in last night's game, and Lackey has got to throw a strike. He'd like to throw it away, not inside.
And curveball, missing ball 4. Lackey looked like he wanted that pitch. Zobrist walks, and that is the first walk issued by Lackey, and the bases are loaded as Brignac goes to third, Damon to second.
Well, in fairness, this pitch is high. Goes over the strike zone. Good call by Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire.
And now you see Saltalamacchia going over to reassure Lackey, hang in there, and we have bullpen activity for the Red Sox. And the newcomer to the team, Randy Williams, who was activated after the Red Sox put veteran Bobby Jenks on the disabled list for the third time this year. So Randy Williams, who's 35 years old, and this is his first stint with the Red Sox, warming up here early. Kochman, the batter, singled and knocked in a run. Infield hit, checks the swing, and he did not go around on the appeal to Mike DeMuro, the third base umpire. So a big chance for Kochman. Bases are loaded. With one away, Rays' lead was shaved to 1 after Reddick's 2-run homer. And there's a strike, 1-1. Last thing the Red Sox needed was to go into the bullpen early. They've got Josh Beckett, who's officially going to work tomorrow night's game. And as Tim mentioned, Lester and Buchholz both on the DL. 1-2 now to Kochman.
Terry Francona the other day saying that nothing can derail a season like not enough pitching. Doesn't matter how much offense you have, and the Red Sox have a plentiful amount of bats. Their pitching right now is hurting, no question.
1-2 pitch, and there is Pedroia to Scudero, the throw to first in time for the double play, and John Lackey gets out of it. Second straight double play by the Red Sox, and we'll return to St. Petersburg after a word from your local Fox station. By AT&T, rethink possible. So the Red Sox double plays getting him out of further damage in the first inning, and a bases loaded situation in the second. Adrian Gonzalez leading off here in the third inning, struck out his first time up. 0 for 5 since the All-Star break, and takes ball one outside, and the shift is on for Gonzalez.
To Reed Brignac in shallow right field. I think Joe Madden does this. I mean, normally teams wouldn't play the shift on Adrian Gonzalez because he's so proficient hitting the ball the other way. But Madden likes to toy with hitters' minds. I remember talking to him last year, and I said, you know, can that I forgot the left-handed hitter we were talking about. But I said, can he, you know, doesn't he hit a few the other way? He said, yeah, but we're just playing with it. We won't do it all the time. May do it some of the time because he's seen what it does to hitters over his years.
3-1 the count to Gonzalez.
Nothing phases this guy.
No, I was going to say he's a smart hitter. You're not going to get him to be over anxious. He draws the walk. That is the third walk given up by Shields. So Shields having some problems in that department today. The Red Sox with the tying run aboard with Kevin Youkilis, and you know that there are Red Sox fans in this crowd because when they start chanting "Uke," you know that the Red Sox fans are sprinkled in this crowd. And now you see Shields, who have thrown 46 pitches. Youkilis was hit by a pitch his first time up, hit on the elbow. Interesting point. We were talking with Kurt Young before the game about what another pitcher has to think about with what the batting order he has to face when he has to face a batting order like the Red Sox.
Yeah, I asked Kurt about it's a pretty good lineup. You don't have to go out there and press because you know the lineup, the Red Sox that is, they're going to score a lot of runs. And he said, yeah, he said, you can go to bed at night thinking about what the other pitcher is thinking about pitching to the Red Sox. And believe me, it is a formidable task. These guys can hit. And you know what they'll do? They'll take the walk and leave it up to the next guy. That's what Francona made us aware of and made sure we knew that they are not afraid to take a walk. And what that does is it allows guys to get better pitches to hit.
Leading the league in walks, 1 and 2 to Youkilis. You saw Ortiz on deck and missing inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kevin Youkilis. Coming in third in doubles in the league, and as we mentioned, third in runs driven in. 3-2, the Rays lead the Red Sox, and a base hit through the hole in left field. Gonzalez advances to second, so Youkilis has the third hit of the game for Boston. Runners at first and second, nobody out, and Big Papi coming to the plate. So here is Ortiz, who bounced into an inning force play. Gonzalez, the runner at second. Youkilis at first. Not a lot of base runners, a lot of movement so far in this game, with the Rays with 3 runs, 6 hits. Red Sox 2 runs and now 3 hits. Tying run at second base early in this game, and the breaking ball inside for ball 1.
This is a very tough hitter for a lot of pitchers in the American League, but particularly for a guy like James Shields because he's not a hard thrower. I think Shields would like to try to get ahead of Ortiz. He hasn't. Get ahead of him and throw that cut fastball inside on the hands.
And he gets the base hit to right field. Gonzalez will be waved in, and falling down is Joyce in the outfield. Now they're going to wave in Youkilis. And here comes the throw to the plate offline, and the Red Sox have taken the lead 4-3. David Ortiz driving in Gonzalez, and Youkilis coming around as well, and Ortiz winds up at second, and the Red Sox forge in front.
Being a third base coach is very difficult in the major leagues. You're almost like a guy who is running the bases figuratively as the right fielder Matt Joyce falls down, and Tim Bogar was going to hold him up with nobody out. You could see him accelerate that left arm waving Euclid home, and the Red Sox take the lead.
So for Ortiz, a 2-run double now with 57 runs batted in on the year. So the Red Sox bats don't seem to stay quiet for long. And J.D. Drew swings and misses 2 strikes. I didn't know this, but J.D. Drew's actual given initials are D.J. for David Jonathan. His dad also is David. He was called Jonathan Drew as a kid. Everyone started calling him J.D. and then J.D. Drew. But David Jonathan was his name. And he's going to say Drew by any name, by any initial. 1-2 to the Red Sox right fielder who bounced out his first time up.
A Drew by any name.
Saltalamacchia on deck. Still nobody out. Walk to Gonzalez started it all here in the 3rd. Big cut, foul back. And it is still 1-2 to J.D. Drew. Talking about the Red Sox looking for more production in the right fielder's spot, which includes Drew.
Yep.
And then you mentioned the pitching, the starting pitching with a couple of guys hurt. And a fair ball down the right field line. And extra bases for Drew. Ortiz will come around and score. Sliding into second. And Drew with an RBI double. Back-to-back doubles for the Red Sox, who now take a 5-3 lead. Nobody out, and Hickey coming out of the dugout. What was once a 3-0 lead is now a 5-3 deficit.
Well, in the 2nd inning with the 3-run lead, a 1-out walk, he scored in front of Josh Reddick's 2-run home run. In this inning, a leadoff walk to Adrian Gonzalez. He scored on the double by David Ortiz.
So a walk, single, double for the Red Sox. Still nobody out. And Saltalamacchia, who walked coming to the plate. And all's well in the Red Sox dugout.
You look at multi-run innings, Dick, and you'll find walks in there. Almost all of them. There'll be a walk peppered in there. And from a mental standpoint, if a pitcher is walking a hitter or walking more than one, then the guys behind him get better pitches to hit because he doesn't want to throw the ball out of the strike zone. Fat part of the plate.
And there's the bunt attempt and the throw to second base. Not in time.
I think the Red Sox taking a page from Joe Madden and the Rays.
Of course, Saltalamacchia trying to move. Drew over to third. Nobody out here with Reddick coming up next. And you were talking about walks. Leadoff walks.
Are kill you.
Poison.
Kill you.
Saltalamacchia came around and scored after he walked on Reddick's home run. 0-2 now to him. And now the shift, they have Ben Zobrist playing in short right field for Saltalamacchia. And I would think on a base hit that is not solidly hit, possibly preventing Drew from coming around and scoring. And a check swing did not go around.
This is the 3rd left-handed batter in the Red Sox lineup on which the shift is employed. Saltalamacchia, Gonzalez, and David Ortiz.
And the first time you've seen it against somebody other than a fearsome left-handed slugger like Ortiz and Gonzalez.
That's right.
Saltalamacchia strikes out, so the Red Sox have the runner at second with 1 out. Fox tonight, an all-new special examines chilling near-death experiences played out right before your eyes. And then we break it down to find out how they survive. The Indestructibles, an all-new special tonight at 9, 8 Central on Fox. 3rd strikeout of the game for Shields. Not out of the woods yet by any means with Josh Reddick, who drove a home run into the right field stands, and a changeup Reddick went after it, and it's strike one. So the 3 walks ties the season's high for Shields. Breaking ball, and it's popped up into shallow center field. Calling for it is Zobrist, and now Upton calls everyone off to make the catch for the second out. Remaining at second is Drew, so the Red Sox have not been able to move Drew over with less than 2 out. And with 2 down, Marco Scutaro, who walked his first time up to the plate.
Get the feeling this is going to be one of those 11-9 games. Not sure who's going to win, but get the feeling that a lot of runs are going to be scored in this game. With the conditions of the bullpens, the early game relievers. We saw young Randy Williams warming for the Red Sox, but neither pitcher is sharp today, so it appears, unless they can right themselves, that they're going to be replaced in a hurry.
And they are all on the line right now.
Yeah.
Shields is hanging in there, and Lackey been helped by those double plays. Scutaro walked his first time up. Red Sox leading 5-3 in tight, 1-0. .65 pitches thrown by Shields, and Lackey hasn't had a picnic either, and he's had to work out of a couple of jams. Has allowed 3 runs, 2 of which were earned. Fastball, and it nicks the corner. James Shields, 29 years old, from Newhall, California. Not going to get the shutout, and maybe not the complete game, as he trails by 2 runs and falls behind Scutaro 2-1. And he can't complain at this point about not getting enough run support, can he?
No. But James Shields not the type of guy who complains anyway. He is one of the real thorough professionals in this business.
Time called, and another meeting at the mound. Both these teams got off to slow starts. The Rays were 1-8, and I guess it's ancient history to keep harping on the fact that the Red Sox were 2-10 at one point, but they were.
They certainly were, and there was concern. I mean, nobody other than, I mean, the Red Sox nation is very closely knit. And nobody cares more than a Red Sox fan.
A little corner of the country up in New England, right?
Goodness. Oh, baby.
And maybe the nation spreads. We're seeing some of the Red Sox station in the crowd here at the Trop today. And that breaking ball is a bit low, and the full count now to Scutaro with Jacoby Ellsbury on deck.
But I mean, their offense got together all at once, and I mean, these guys are, as we've said before, you just can't overstate it. No lead is too big for them to overcome, as they've proven again this afternoon.
And you know, when you look at those numbers on the last graphic, Shields has been outstanding early in the game.
Yeah, that's
He's
right.
gotten off to great starts.
That's true. But today a 3-0 lead, and it's 5-3 Red Sox here in the third.
I think you're right, though. I think that to say this game is going to be 5-3 or 6-4, I don't think that's right.
And you just get that feeling that the gates are going to open up. More runs are coming across.
3-2 pitch, strike 3, and that'll do it. 2 strikeouts this inning, but back-to-back doubles. David Ortiz and J.D. Drew, the Red Sox, get 3 runs and lead it 5-3 in the middle of the third.
against Shields. I mean, the last time we were down here, he just went right through us.
Back here at the Trop, Dick Stockton along with Tim McCarver, 0-1 to Evan Longoria, who bounced into a fielder's choice in the first inning. 5-3 the Red Sox lead, and 1-1 the count to Longoria, who's 0 for his last 12, but has knocked in 29 runs since the middle of June, the most in the majors. So his production numbers have been good, as he misses the slider. 1-2. Lackey has now thrown 53 pitches. He got out of the bases loaded jam last inning, helped by the 4-6-3 double play. The second one turned over by the Red Sox in as many innings. Red Sox coming in third in the league in fielding, and the Rays are second. Both teams have made only 44 errors on the year, tying them with the Chicago White Sox. But even the number of errors sometimes can be deceiving in judging a team's fielding ability.
That's true.
Longoria goes down, and there's one out, and we caught up with the Red Sox manager between innings. Terry or Tito, or however you want to be called.
There's been a lot worse.
It's been a lot worse. Let's ask you about answering runs, and in a game like this, you fall behind 3-0, and the significance of that.
Yeah, well, especially against Shields. I mean, the last time we were down here, he just went right through us. So to come back like that, that's good. That's a tough way to play the game. Now we're not only even, but we got a lead, but we got a long way to go.
Yeah, there's got to be a feeling of such confidence, Terry, that you certainly didn't have the first couple of weeks of the season. Right?
Yeah, that's the understatement of the year. Our guys have done a great job of kind of believing in themselves and letting their talent come out. And again, that doesn't mean we're going to win today, but every day we go out there, we feel like we got a pretty good chance.
Terry, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Steve.
And you know, it's interesting. I think he has the same feeling you do, that we're in for a marathon high-scoring game.
You did get that feeling, didn't you? Yeah.
Matt Joyce, the batter, 2 balls and no strikes with 1 out here in the third inning. And the breaking ball over for the strike, 2-1. Lackey started the second inning the way he began the third, by getting a strikeout. Rays have 6 hits, the Red Sox 5. Ground ball through the hole, base hit, and Matt Joyce with his second hit of the ball game, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate. B.J. Upton stepping in. That's hit number 7 for the Rays. Upton singled to left and drove in a run in the first inning.
We talked about how the Red Sox need to get J.D. Drew going, a double to drive in a run in the top of the third. Well, the Rays need to get more consistency out of B.J. Upton. He is not a 240 hitter. He runs too well. He makes too much contact. B.J. 5 years ago had a 300 season, and I, for one, think he's a 300 hitter if he works 2 strike counts a little better. If B.J. Upton was Dustin Pedroia with 2 strikes on him, he'd be a 280 hitter instead of a 240 hitter.
Takes a strike, and the long ball has been one of the things that B.J. Upton has been able to establish already with 15 homers this season after hitting 18 last year.
He and his brother, Justin, who was an all-star, both have 15 home runs.
They're having their own home run derby. brother style.
In fact, it's the first time that brothers have had that many home runs in the first half of the season in the history of the game.
You know, that would be a trivia question. That's somewhere.
Pretty good,
right?
Huh?
1-1. Now a ball and 2 strikes to B.J. Upton.
We talked about it earlier. What Pedroia, what Ellsbury, they both do well is protect the outside part of the plate with 2 strikes. And that's where Upton can improve. He's an amazing talent.
Lead by Matt Joyce. And there he is. Just what you were saying. Strikes out. Second this inning. 2 down as Upton goes down. And during the State Farm Home Run Derby, baseball's biggest sluggers went to bat for a number of charities, including Boys and Girls Clubs of America. So go to bat for your favorite cause and help them get to a better state. So as you pointed out, B.J. Upton swings at a low pitch, strikes out. 2 down. Joyce remains at first, and Sam Fuld, who ended the first inning by hitting into a double play. And Fuld got off to a great start. Still fun to watch, whatever his numbers are, Tim. Batting average is dipping under 240. Had a great start to this year. Actually hitting .350 through the first month of the year. And there's a breaking pitch, strike, 0-1.
Tell you, if you folks watching today have not had a chance to see Sam Fuld play in the outfield, he is a treat. Don Zimmer, a national treasure with the Rays, told us before the game that in his 63 years in baseball, Sam Fuld is the best left fielder he's ever seen. He didn't say center field or right field. He's the best left fielder he's ever seen. And is that high praise coming from a guy who's been around for a while?
That is phenomenal praise when you consider over 60 years, 2-1 pitches outside. You know, I was thinking of teammates that Zimmer might have had with the Dodgers. Left field was not the strongest position when he played for the Dodgers.
True. That's
Although
true.
A great play was by Sandy Amoros in a World Series when he made a one-handed catch and doubled off Gil McDougall in first.
1955 World Series, Game 7.
Thank you for backing me up that it did happen.
Baby.
3 balls and a strike to Sam Fuld. There goes the runner, and a strike. The throw is not in time, and Marco Scudero doing a good job of preventing that ball from going into center field, although Pedroia was backing it up. And Joyce with his 6th stolen base of the year.
You can see Joyce with that look. With 2 outs, there's really no need to look at that batter like there is with none or 1 out. But Joyce with stolen base number 6, as Dick said.
And the count 3-2 to Fuld with 2 out. And the Rays with a runner in scoring position now. So teams do run even when they're behind, as we've seen. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Fuld was on his way to first as Lackey strikes out the side. Coming up, it'll be Ellsbury, Pedroia, and then Gonzalez for the Red Sox, who lead 5-3 into the 4th. sponsored by Ford, Drive One, and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Red Sox batting in the fourth inning, leading 5-3 against James Shields. And Jacoby Ellsbury stepping in, and we are very pleased to have with us during this half inning David Price of the Rays. And there's a drive hit to right field. Matt Joyce looking up, and it's gone. A home run for Jacoby Ellsbury, his second in as many games, and the Red Sox now lead it 6-3.
Jacoby Ellsbury now with 13 home runs.
And that's the second home run by the Red Sox in this game.
Yeah, he had one off David Price last night, and I think we have David Price's reaction to this home run off James Shields.
Yeah, Pedroia's the batter. Well, what about this power-hitting leadoff man, David?
He's a pretty good player. He hits the ball over the yard. Obviously, he has some pop, and he puts good swings on a lot of good pitches.
4 homers in the last 7 games. Pedroia 0 for 2. Pops it up out of play. Here is David Price's reaction. Here's the home run first. No balls and 2 strikes to Pedroia. 6-3 the Red Sox lead, and a line drive caught by Zobrist for the first out. What do you make of the game, and James Shields trying to avoid further damage? It's been a rough one for him so far, David.
Yeah, I mean, this has by far been his roughest outing of the year. He's thrown the ball outstanding all year, and that's why he was rewarded with going to the All-Star game last week. But, everybody has these games. This is a very, very, very good lineup, so it's tough.
David, talking about rough outings, you've had a rough time over the last couple of days with your friend.
Gonzalez taking a strike down in Tennessee.
Yeah, my best friend Terry back home, he lived with me for the last 2 years out here in Tampa, and he had a seizure, I guess, about a month ago, the day before he was going to come back here, and they found out that he had a tumor on the left side of his brain, and he had surgery yesterday during the game. It was about a 4.5 hour surgery. The doctor said he did great. He called me this morning about 8:30, and he sounded normal. So I was very shocked, and he knew everything from before, and it was very good to hear his voice.
Well, you talked to him this morning. Do you have a message on national television for him?
Terry, I love you, man. Hello, everybody back home. Get well, and I'll see you back in Tampa here soon.
That's great. 1-1 to Gonzalez with 1 out, and Ellsbury with his leadoff home run, and here's a chopper. Shields will make the play unassisted for the second out. Tell me, I want to ask you about 2 experiences, David. Number one, giving up the home run to Derek Jeter, his 3,000th hit, and secondly, being at the All-Star game even though you couldn't perform because of the turf toe.
Jeter's 3,000th hit. I mean, that's gone viral, I'm sure. So that'll be in there forever, and that's part of it. I'm that guy that he got it off of. I mean, it could have been probably any pitcher in the league. He has a pretty good chance of getting hit off of whoever he's facing, because he's Derek Jeter. And it was just the timing, and I was there, and he needed 2 more, and he got a hit in his first at bat, and he got one in his second as well. And then being in the All-Star game and not being able to throw, it's tough. But my main focus is being ready to pitch for the Rays and being ready for that Friday night last night.
And you've done a good job. Thanks for being with us, David. Appreciate you coming on. Ellsbury's home run, giving the Red Sox a 6-3 lead in the middle of the fourth. He has weathered some storms and now staked to a 3-run lead, facing Kelly Shopik, starting the Rays fourth, and a breaking ball for a strike. Shopik struck out his first time up. He'll be followed by Reed Brignac, in the top of the order, Johnny Damon. One and one to Shopik. Tim was talking about the fact that the players sometimes get excited about the schedule, like the 7 games that this team is playing against the Red Sox and the Yankees to start the second half, saying that it was a crucial part of the season. Pop up in foul territory. Saltalamacchia chases it out of play, and that's kind of scared Joe Maddon a little bit, because, you know, most managers will say, look, let's just worry about today's game. Yeah,
and that's where those sayings and those cliches, you always read about them. Take one game at a time, and we're playing for today. The reason they're cliches is they're oh so true. And Joe Maddon knows that. Held a meeting the other night and said, guys, let's try to condense this and don't worry too far ahead. And that's it's one thing you can't do in baseball. It's a 162-game season, and you've got to concentrate on the here and now.
Shopik strikes out, so Lackey has struck out 3 in a row in 4 of his last 5 hitters. And there's one down in the fourth. Help make a baseball moment kids will never forget. Go to ChevyBaseball.com to support youth baseball, plus enter to win the keys to a new Chevrolet. You know, these 7 games obviously, you know, means something. But, you know, if they're 5 out or 6 out, it's not going to mean the entire season is lost. So no, they're not under pressure to win the
ball. You lose 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox, and they're a game more in first place, entrenched in first place than they were when they came here, there's no need to panic. And that, I think, was what Joe's message was. And not that Joe thinks any differently than other managers. He just has a way of putting unconventional thoughts to work. And I think that's one of his real strengths. He just simply does not say it like other people do. Terry Francona, on the other hand, uses his humor a lot more than Joe does. And Joe thinks about it from, you know, here I am, a 55-year-old man. How can I get a simple thought through to a 22-year-old player? And he does it, and does it very well.
And he does remind you of Gene Mauch, the way he handles things and his philosophies. Brignac with his second hit of the game over the head of Youkilis. Here's Johnny Damon, and off the end of the bat, tough play for Youkilis at third, and the throw to first for the out. And moving to second is Brignac, so there are 2 down as Youkilis handled that nicely. I would think that the only real danger part for the Rays would be if they would really lose 6 out of 7 or lose 7, only because they are in a division in which they're playing 2 tough teams and know they have to pass at least 1 to get into postseason.
Playing 2 tough teams back to back, the Red Sox for 3 and the Yankees for 4. The Yankees come in here from Monday through Thursday of next week.
Ben Zobrist has singled and walked and scored a run and takes strike 1 from Lackey.
On the other hand, if you're facing the Red Sox and they're missing 2 of their pitchers, and you're facing the Yankees and they're having a tough time with their pitchers, it might be the time to make up ground against these 2 teams, because they're at less than full strength when you're at full strength.
Now's the time to strike.
Now's the time to strike. You're going to have to face them eventually.
Well, here's the schedule, and what's interesting is you mentioned the 7 games, but after those 7 games, the next 20 that the Rays played will be against teams that are under 500.
Right. That's another trap.
Yeah, you're so right.
In the second half. I mean, how many times through the years we've seen those statistics about under 500, and if you go if you play 500 ball, they have to play 800 ball to be. And you know what? It happens that they do play 800 ball, or whoever they is. And you know, the Philadelphia Phillies in 1964 a 6.5 game lead with 12 games to play. Cardinals and Reds had 13 to play, and the Cardinals won it on the last day of the season.
Phillies lost 10 in a row after never losing more than 3 straight during the regular season.
And Gene Mock's line that year was, "We were the best team in baseball for 150 games."
Foul ball again by Zobrist, and the count remains 1-2. And you know, when you started to talk about the trap, I always look at that the last few weeks of the season when they say, look at the schedule we have. Well, you know what? Teams love to knock off the leaders when they're having a losing season. That makes their year.
Teams under 500 are better than their teams. They play like teams over 500.
And Zobrist strikes out, so Lackey has become a strikeout pitcher. 5 in the last 2 innings. We go to the 5th, 6-3 Boston. Stockton along with Tim McCarver. The Red Sox in front of the Rays 6-3. And coming up in the 5th inning, David Ortiz, J.D. Drew, and Jared Saltalamacchia against James Shields. Ortiz with a 2-run double in the 3rd inning as the Red Sox scored 3 runs. And a bounding ball that Kochman will handle unassisted for out number 1. So Ortiz is retired. The Red Sox with 2 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, and 1 in the 4th have had at least a hit in each of the first 4 innings of the game. And Drew with a double his last time up, knocking in a run. He's 1 for 2.
See where the Mets are beating the Phillies this afternoon. Some shoddy play by Philadelphia. And the reason I bring up the Mets is that their right fielder, Carlos Beltran, could be with the Red Sox after July 31st. That's a trading deadline. He has already waived his no trade clause. And Dick, you and I were talking about it before the game. It's interesting that he and his agent Scott Boras have already said that he's waived the no trade clause, almost like a peppering of the beaches before you land. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. The first wave coming over, getting out of the boat, and you know
we've cleared that part up. Now are we going? Now what are the Red Sox Sox going to do?
Well, you know,
talking about the future.
Not only did he say that he would waive the trading situation, he said, I wouldn't mind going to the Red Sox.
Yeah, right. That's right. He was even firmer than that.
Drew strikes out.
So the Red Sox have had the one problem area they've had is right field. Talked about it earlier. And Carlos Beltran could be available. And what a player he would be on this Red Sox team.
And then the other issue is, well, if pitching is so important and they've had pitching problems, do you go in that direction?
Yeah.
Or maybe both, as Saltalamacchia takes a stride.
Yeah.
Shields getting the first two hitters here in the fifth inning. And 1-1 to Saltalamacchia, who has walked and scored a run and struck out his last time up. And this is the first inning of the game in which Shields has retired the first two hitters he's faced. James Shields 6-9 in his career against the Red Sox. There's a ball strike. And it's 2-2. He's 5-1 here at the Trop since the start of 08, and 1-6 at Fenway. And a 1-2-3 inning. First of the game for Shields as he strikes out Saltalamacchia. Second straight strikeout. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Possible. And the Rays batting here in the bottom of the fifth inning. If you joined us late, Josh Reddick with a two-run home run, giving the Red Sox the lead after they were trailing 3-0. Solo homer by Jacoby Ellsbury, and a ground ball up the middle, and Scudero behind the bag throws out Casey Kochman for the first out. And time now for a DirecTV game break. Talked about the Phillies-Mets game. Daniel Murphy with a gift RBI single that drops between Chase Utley and Ryan Howard. And the run scores, but then in the fifth, no gift this time as Murphy hits his sixth home run off of Cole Hamels. And the Mets now up 7-0. Hamels is out of the game. And so the Phillies on the real short end. They have the best record in the big leagues. And there is Longoria with a drive deep to left field and caught at the base of the wall by Josh Reddick. So Longoria giving the home fans almost something to go crazy about.
You know, Evan Longoria is not letting his swing go. And the reason for that, he was on the disabled list because of an oblique strain, a left oblique strain. If you're looking at a healthy Evan Longoria, that ball's out. But I think he's afraid to let it go. And you can certainly understand it if you've had one of those things that's, in my view, only recently been named. I mean, we used to have it, but nobody knew what the name of it was. I didn't hear about an oblique until about 7 or 8 years ago.
I thought it was an angle.
Well, you're right. It is.
Matt Joyce, the batter.
Not in that particular case, so.
Joyce taking a strike. He has singled twice. By the way, want to remind you, you can get every MLB game and the most in HD by calling 1-800-DIRECTV.
You can't say you pulled your angle.
No. No, and you can't even pull your ankle. 2 down here in the 5th inning.
You know, just watching Evan Longoria swing, you can tell that he's just not letting it go. Only 3 home runs since early June.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Matt Joyce. So the Rays are going to need Evan Longoria to get back to where he's been when Joe Madden talks about offense to go along with their solid pitching.
One of the great players in the game.
Yes.
MVP in the 2008 ALCS.
Named to the All-Star team 3 straight years, which ended this year. 2-2 to Joyce, who 2 hits, RBI, runs scored, and a stolen base. Trying to get something going against John Lackey with 2 out. Lackey has settled down beautifully in this game. And the count runs full now, 3-2 to Joyce. Lackey was saved by a double play when the Rays loaded the bases with 1 out in the 2nd inning. Struck out the side in the 3rd. There was 1 base hit. Struck out 2, giving up a hit in the 4th, and has the first 2 hitters here in the 5th inning. So
you remember, Dick, the bases were loaded and only 1 out, and Randy Williams was up and throwing as Matt Joyce is down at home plate. But that was looked like his front leg. This is a cut fastball from Lackey. And he hammers it off his front leg right above the knee, it appeared. But had Lackey given up a hit in that 2nd inning, that might have been it with the bases loaded and only 1 out.
And those are the things you don't see in the box score, is how thin a line it is for a pitcher of hanging in there and then getting a chance to turn things around. And the bat started to blossom for the Red Sox.
Right.
And Joyce trying to walk it off. Joe Madden going back to the dugout, satisfied.
Why, a similar play like that with Dustin Pedroia last year in San Francisco. That limited him to only 75 games.
That was a rough series for the Red Sox.
It was.
Well, judging by the looks in the dugout, Joyce is fine. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 out. And still squatting to work it out. And hits a drive to right field. Drew back. Gone. Home run for Matt Joyce. So he goes from hurt, lying on the ground, and to the home run The next pitch.
The reason I'm laughing is you can't help but laugh because Joe Madden and Dave Martinez, his bench coach, are laughing. And now Matt Joyce is laughing.
13th home run of the year for Joyce. Now 3 for 3 in the game, and it's now 6-4. Red Sox in front. And here's B.J. Upton, 1 for 2 with a single and an RBI. So he went for possibly maybe coming out of the game to a home run, and Upton singles for the second time.
Dick, what is the best medicine when this happens off the knee? Well, the best medicine is when this happens on the next pitch.
Number 5,
That makes you feel a lot better. A lot better, huh, Matt?
Great swing by Joyce, and hugs and smiles in the Rays dugout. Sam Fuld, now the batter.
Matt probably saying, forget the ice. I'm okay.
Yeah. Cures all ills, doesn't it?
Right.
A home run.
It does.
So now 6-4, and now Sam Fuld representing the tying run at the plate. Lackey got the first 2 outs, and there goes the runner, Upton, and the throw to second, not in time, and Upton with his 22nd stolen base of the season and the second of the game for Tampa Bay.
Tremendous jump by B.J. Upton, steals second easily.
You just got through talking about the fine line that Lackey had, getting the double play, and he might have been out. Joyce might have been out of the game, and maybe the inning would have been over 1-2-3, and then he hits the home run.
Yeah, if he yielded to the pain, he didn't. Home run. Now Upton, representing what would be the 5th run if they can push him across, steals second base.
Rays have out-hit the Red Sox 10-6. And Fuld with the big swing, and it's 2-2. Sam Fuld bounced into a double play to end the first inning and then struck out in the third. Rays trailing by 2, 6-4 in the bottom of the 5th inning. John Lackey appeared to have settled down, although he has not had a 1-2-3 inning. He gets Fuld here for his 7th strikeout of the game. But Matt Joyce first fouling a ball off his knee, and then a beautiful swing and his 13th home run of the year. And the Rays trailing the Red Sox by 2 as we move to the 6th. By Chevrolet, proud to support youth baseball around the country. And by Rise of the Planet of the Apes, August 5th, only in theaters. Red Sox leading 6-4 and have been out hit 10-6, and Josh Reddick takes a strike to start the 6th inning. Reddick with a 2-run homer in the 2nd inning. After the Red Sox had fallen behind 3-2, actually took the lead with a 3-run 3rd, and count now 0-2 to Reddick, 1 for 2 on the day. James Shields settling down. First 1-2-3 inning of the game for either pitcher in the 5th inning. Striking out 2.
Home run earlier by Reddick on a 3-2 pitch. Home run number 3.
Grounds this, fair ball. Kochman off his glove and flips, not in time. And Shields may not have gotten his foot on the bag in time as Reddick is safe.
I don't think he was over there. I thought Casey Kochman saw the ball in foul territory, and the reason he didn't hand it off to Shields, I think Shields thought perhaps he'd take it himself. But James wasn't near the bag. Complete the play, and James failed to do that. And Kochman running toward the bag and a hustling Reddick. Well, that's a good play by Josh Reddick. That's one of the few times you can justify getting on your rear end going into first base. You've seen those head first slides where guys get hurt all the time. That was a fine play by Reddick.
And very close at first base as Reddick gets back. So they charge an error to Casey Kochman on the play. And that's his first error of the year.
I think in fairness, you ought to give each one a half.
0.5.
Yeah, right. Do it Olympic style.
There goes the runner, and on the hit and run, Scudero fouls it back. So the Red Sox with a 6-4 lead playing hit and run. And the count 0-1 to Scudero, who has walked and struck out. It looked initially as if Kochman would be able to get to the bag.
Right, and then he found out he couldn't, and then by the time he gave the ball to Shields, Shields wasn't on the bag.
And good hustle by Reddick.
Absolutely.
Got down there in a hurry. On deck will be the top of the order, Jacoby Ellsbury. This has been a home run series. The Red Sox with 4 in a losing cause last night. The Rays had 2. Red Sox have hit 2 today, and the Rays 1. And we're in the top of the 6th. Good breaking pitch for a call strike 2 to Scudero.
Tell you how rare that error was for Casey Kochman. It's his 2nd error in his last 378 games. I think baseball's gifted with defensive first basemen now more than at any other time in their existence.
Great point when you consider the like of Pujols, among others.
Gonzalez, Mark Teixeira, Freddie Freeman of the Atlanta Braves. Here's Kochman once again. Kochman, one of the best around. James Loney of the Dodgers, outstanding first baseman. And Carlos Pena of the Cubs, an ex-Gold Glove winner. He did it with the Rays. I mean, baseball has never been gifted with this many good defensive first basemen.
Great point. Bullpen activity for the Rays. No balls, 2 strikes, and a foul out of play. 6-4 the score. Ramos warming up. And Gomes to the count. And very nearly thrown away behind the runner. Tough play made by Kochman there.
I mentioned it earlier, 10 pickoffs for James Shields this season. That leads all major leaguers. That's a lot. Halfway through the season, 10 pickoffs.
And Scudero strikes out. Sounds of the game. Let's listen to Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire. Been a busy day for him.
Hey, will you leave this bottle out so it stays warm?
Yes, he did!
Out.
No, that's a good pitch, PJ. Hank! Hey!
Good point.
They pay you?
He plays for fun.
A little banter with the home plate umpire, Jim Reynolds. One out, one on, and here's Ellsbury. Takes a strike. Ellsbury smashing his 13th home run of the year. His last time up, singled in the first inning. He's 2 for 3. Now with 13 homers and 51 runs batted in. And Shields getting ready to deliver his 100th pitch. And it's a strike, 0-2 to Ellsbury.
You know, Dick, we're talking about the umpires, and a lot of things have changed in baseball. I mean, they lowered the mound after the 1968 season. And in those days, umpires were wearing balloon protectors behind the plate. And now with a much better thing, it gives them a much more athletic appearance and mobility behind home plate. I think it protects them more. And it allows them to make the call, the most important thing. It allows them to be maneuverable enough to get down to see the low pitch, to move to his right to see the outside pitch to a right-hander, move inside. And I think in a very subtle way that has really improved the game and improved the balls and strike calls behind home plate.
Many, many years ago, I think it was only the American League had home plate umpires that wanted those
with the balloon
inflated chest protectors, not the National League. 1-2 pitch and staying alive.
And for those you youngsters out there who may not remember that, the balloon protector did not allow the umpire to get down low. So the American League became a high ball league. They called more high strikes, and the National League, who had the inside protector earlier, it allowed the home plate umpire to get down to where he can make the call around the knees. So everybody went to it.
Ellsbury goes down. That's the 8th strikeout of the game for James Shields, and there's 2 down. Second time Ellsbury has fanned against Shields.
Good curveball. I didn't, you know, there you could see home plate umpire Jim Reynolds. Watch him go all the way down, following the ball. No, it's not all the way down. He went down pretty far.
Yeah, but he got the best view.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's Dustin Pedroia, 0 for 3 on the day, and a strike. So the Reddick reaching to start the 6th inning on the error by Kochman. But then Shields striking out the next 2 hitters. He has struck out 4 of the last 6 he's faced. Pedroia getting a piece of it.
We talked about Dustin, and last year hammering one into his left foot. He's got a protective shield over that left foot, and I think that foul ball was right into that shield. Close.
Yeah, but it hurt his stung.
Yeah.
You mentioned the game in San Francisco. It was similar to that.
Yeah.
That put Pedroia out of action for a long time.
Missed most of the second half of the season.
Shields is ahead of Pedroia, 2 strikes. There goes Reddick, the pitch taken high, and the throw to second. They get him. And a terrific play made on the hop. So the Red Sox don't score, and the Rays come up in the 6th. In St. Petersburg, the Rays trailing the Red Sox 6-4. Kelly Shopik, first pitch swinging, pops it up to the right side. Adrian Gonzalez makes the play for the first out. Well, Fox Sports is proud to support Stand Up to Cancer, and they work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. Stand up for someone you love. Visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports to learn more. And Reed Brignac coming up, and we were looking around the baseball panorama, and how about that National League Central and the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Pittsburgh Pirates are in first place, in case you didn't know that, by percentage points over the St. Louis Cardinals, with Milwaukee a half a game back and Cincinnati 3 back. 4 teams, but the most surprising being the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's the first time they've been in first place this late in the season since 1997.
Amazing. This team has lost over 100 games.
I know.
They were saying, well, the hapless.
Yeah.
You never want to be called hapless.
No.
If you're any team.
Or a broadcaster.
That's a hapless broadcaster. I never heard it put that way.
No, but it has. Don't worry.
I know, especially today. Anyway, what do you make of the race? Who do you think may have a leg up? And, you know, Cincinnati, 1 game under 500, walk-off home run last night by Brandon Phillips. Brignac pops it up out to left field.
Well, I think if the Cardinals hadn't lost Pujols, the Cardinals would be a bit of a favorite. Milwaukee, I mean, you know, you trade for Greinke and you don't get out of Greinke what you think you're going to get out of him. Sean Markham the same, but here the Pittsburgh Pirates with Andrew McCutchen, an all-star, as was Joel Hanrahan, Kevin Correa. So 3 Pirates on the all-star team, and they are a good team. This is no flash in the pan, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. You know, a team that would have probably been a seller, as they are every year since 1992
right.
At the trade deadline. This year, I mean, Pittsburgh sold out 10 times this year. I don't think you can do that to your fans.
But it shows that winning baseball, in many cases, will bring out the Phantom, Johnny Damon, 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored with 2 outs.
In most cases, that's
right.
Exactly right.
And in the bullpen for the Red Sox, Matt Albers and Randy Williams. Williams, the left-hander, just called up when Bobby Jenks went on the DL. Juan Cruz now working alone in the Rays pen. 2 balls and a strike to Damon with 2 away.
Well, for years, that ballpark in Pittsburgh was one of the finest, most beautiful ballparks in the country, with that view of the Allegheny, Monongahela, downtown Pittsburgh, and people, for obvious reasons, because they were not a winning team, had no reason to go to the ballpark. And now they're finding out the ballpark's nice, and so is the team.
Damon stays alive, and it's interesting when you talk about first half honors. They talk about managers. Clint Hurdle, getting another chance after his experience with the Rockies.
Yep, went to the World Series in 2007 against the Red Sox. Remember that long layoff before the series?
Yes.
Something like 12 days or so.
Rounded to Gonzalez, off of him, and Pedroia tried to make the play to Lackey. That would have been a wild play at first, but Damon is safe. And Gonzalez, who's committed only 2 errors this year, and this should be number 3, and it is.
You notice this crack analyst sitting to your right just finished a half inning talking about the great defensive first baseman in the game. Kochman's erred, and now Gonzalez. Now that's analysis.
Well, you said crack. We could say cracked analyst.
Well, you could.
But I would never say a thing like that.
You could use that.
I would never say that.
But 2 rare errors on, in the same inning. Kochman and Gonzalez.
Let's go over those great first basemen who can field.
Oh, yeah.
And out to the mound, and the conference breaks up. Kurt Young, who's in his first year as the pitching coach for the Red Sox. John Farrell had been a whiz as a pitching coach for the Red Sox for so many years, and now he is the manager of the Toronto Blue Jays. So Young back to the dugout. 2 down, and the runner at first, and so Ben Zobrist representing the tying run at the plate. 6-4 the score. And pitch getting away and hitting Zobrist, and he'll trot down to first. So that pitch low got him in the foot, and with 2 out, an error and a hit batsman, and runners at first and second.
I think that more than anything else is one of the reasons why John Lackey is having such a horrible year. There's no other way to put it. He's hit 12 guys now. Here comes Terry Francona, and John is saying, you got to be kidding me, but this is one situation where there's nothing else to do. I mean, you've got to make a move.
Tim, I don't know a pitcher in the league more at being animated and disgusted being taken out of a game than John Lackey.
How about that look over his right shoulder at Francona?
Casey Kochman facing Randy Williams in relief of John Lackey, and a chopper to Pedroia on the outfield grass makes the play to retire the side. The Rays had the tying runs on base, but Williams retires the side on one pitch, getting Kochman for the third out. It remains 6-4 as Lackey still a little hot in the dugout. Presented by AT&T, rethink possible. And James Shields, work is done for the day. Pitched 6 innings, giving up 6 runs on 6 hits, all earned, striking out 8. And Juan Cruz, the new pitcher for Tampa Bay, 32-year-old right-hander from the Dominican Republic, and Dustin Pedroia takes ball 1. And Cruz pitched the 3rd of an inning last night, giving up a run on a Pedroia double and a Euclid single.
So it's left up to the bullpens of both teams, predictably, to settle this one.
Fly ball to right field. Matt Joyce back, gone. So Ellsbury and Pedroia, the 1-2 hitters in the Red Sox lineup, go deep again. For Pedroia, his 13th homer of the year, 46th RBI, and the Red Sox again stretch their lead to 3.
Tell you, when you look at Dustin Pedroia, you don't think he has the strength to drive the ball out of the ballpark away. He's done that before at Fenway Park, into the position 360 away, and does it here in Tampa Bay. What a player.
So Ellsbury and Pedroia each with home runs, and Josh Reddick as well. And here is Adrian Gonzalez, and he takes strike 1. Cesar Ramos throwing in the Rays bullpen, and Pedroia gets a big hug from Ortiz and nearly envelops the little guy with his hug. 7-4 the score. Roll to second base, Ben Zobrist, and Gonzalez is retired. Well, this was the scene when John Lackey was removed from the game.
Well, you know, we understand competition and competitive ire, competitive desire. But when he looked back at Terry Francona, the way I look at that, he showed up Francona. And I don't think you can do that. I don't care how mad you are. And then after the left-hander comes in, he gets the out, and now John is all smiles. To me, that's showing up the manager, and I don't think you can do that. I understand competition. I understand all that stuff. But when you're out on the mound, if you want to talk to your manager about not coming out of the game, you do it in his office or at your locker, not on the mound.
1-0 to Youkilis, and he takes a call strike. So there's one out, and Youkilis, who is 0 for 2 with a walk, has scored a run today. Red Sox leading 7-4, playing the top of the 7th inning. Here at the Trop, Juan Cruz, and Youkilis pops it up. Kochman in foul territory makes the play for the second out. So Pedroia leading off with a home run, and he doubled against Cruz last night, and Youkilis delivered him with a base hit. And Joe Madden coming to the mound, and Ramos is going to get the call right here, and that'll be all for Cruz as he runs in from the bullpen. And of course, remember, we went to New York and walked around in that Red Sox jersey. And David Ortiz, who has delivered today for the Red Sox with a 2-run double in the 3rd inning to give them the lead that they have not relinquished. He is 1 for 3 now with 57 runs batted in, facing Cesar Ramos, the second pitcher of the inning for the Rays.
One of the great moments of the All-Star game on Tuesday night for me was the son of David Ortiz, D'Angelo Ortiz, imitating his father right down to the grimace on his face, on his lips. I mean, fabulous. Not only does he imitate the swing, but he imitates the look before the swing. It was a great moment.
That's a great look.
Oh.
Father and son. 7-year-old D'Angelo Ortiz.
Oh, you've got to love it. He imitated 3 players. Jose Bautista of the Toronto Blue Jays, Kevin Youkilis, and his dad, Big Papi. It was one of the great moments. And I'm telling you, he was right on the money. We had seen him the day before, and our producer, Pete Macheska, said, gosh, we've got to get that on camera. And he did, and how cute was that?
He's either going to be a comedian or he's going to be a big league baseball star.
Big league player with a great swing, because he can hit any pitch.
1-2 to Big Papi, and he fouls it away. So Ramos, the 27-year-old left-hander who was a teammate of Evan Longoria at Long Beach State. Last time he saw action was July the 4th, but he is still second amongst American League rookies. 41st appearance of the year, and acquired from the Padres during the offseason for Jason Bartlett. 2 down, run in, and Ortiz stays alive. Rays got 3 in the first inning, helped along by an error. And then the Red Sox came back with 2 in the second on a Josh Reddick 2-run homer, 3 in the third, back-to-back doubles by this man, Ortiz, who knocked in a pair, and J.D. Drew, who drove in a run. And then Ellsbury homered after Joyce had homered as well. So we're 7-4 here in the top of the 7th inning. And a breaking pitch in for strike 3. So Ramos gets Ortiz, and that'll do it. But the leadoff homer by Pedroia gives the Red Sox a 7-4 lead, and Ortiz says to Jim Reynolds, well, I didn't agree with it, but that's okay. Am I right, D'Angelo? It's okay, isn't it? Trailing the Red Sox 7-4, and Randy Williams, who came in and got the last out of the 6th with 2 runners on base, getting Kochman to bounce to second on 1 pitch facing Evan Longoria, and a good fastball there. Strike 1 to Longoria, who is 0 for 3. This one up, shallow center field. Pedroia making the catch, and there's 1 away here in the 7th inning. Today's game, presented by AT&T, is sponsored by Michelin, a better way forward, by Burger King, now offering $1 frozen drinks, and by One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of MLB. Matt Joyce, the batter for the Rays, and he's had a perfect afternoon. 2 singles and a home run. He's knocked in 2 runs, scored twice, and has a stolen base. Facing Williams for the first time, and takes ball 1.
Also has a sore knee.
Yeah.
3 for 3, home run, 2 RBIs, and a ball hammered off his right knee. before the home run.
And the pain went away in a hurry because it was the next pitch that he homered.
Right.
Ball strike 1-1. Matt Albers and Daniel Bard have been throwing in the bullpen for the Red Sox. Of course, Bard has been their brilliant setup man. He's now working alone, setting up for Jonathan Papelbon. This Williams, who's 35 years old, comes in with something here.
He's throwing the ball well. I mean, very well. And wouldn't that, I'm sure Red Sox fans are thinking, wouldn't that be great if we could get another left-hander, because the New York Yankees have all that left-handed pop.
Here's Matt Joyce's home run after he went down in a heap.
A heap of hurt.
Yeah. Then it became a heap of happy in the Rays dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Red Sox leading the Rays 7-4. And it's inside. Williams made 19 appearances at Pawtucket, all in relief, and his ERA was 1.29. 26 strikeouts, 11 walks. He had major league relief appearances with the Mariners, the Padres, the Rockies, and the White Sox, so he's been around. Took something off that pitch and nearly got too far inside. 3-2 now to Joyce.
Randy Williams, born to be a reliever. He's pitched 14 years professionally with 11 starts.
Nothing wrong with that, the way baseball is now.
Oh, that's right. That's exactly right.
Payoff pitch. And Joyce goes down for the second out here in the 7th. B.J. Upton coming up. Well, check out the MLB Fan Cave at MLBFanCave.com. Many of baseball's biggest stars have stopped by the cave. Check out all of the videos and see who will visit the cave next. Follow at MLB Fan Cave on Twitter and like the MLB Fan Cave page on Facebook. And Daniel Bard is going to come in with 2 out here in the 7th inning to face B.J. Upton. And that'll be all for Randy Williams. Job well done. Third innings over his last 18 games. Coming in higher with 2 out in the 8th inning in relief of Randy Williams, who retired all 3 batters he faced, getting the last out of the 6th and the first 2 of the 7th.
We talked about Pedroia and how Pedroia can hit a ball out in right field. Well, you look at the frame of Daniel Bard and you wonder how he can throw 100 miles an hour, but he can. He gets it up there in a hurry.
B.J. Upton fouling at the plate. Upton with 2 hits, an RBI, and a stolen base.
Chris Perez, the fine closer of the Cleveland Indians, said that Daniel Bard throws the easiest 99 or 100 miles an hour that I've ever seen. And he does when you think about it. He does it effortlessly. That was 98. Plus he's got a good changeup. Plus he's got a good breaking ball. And maybe the heir apparent to the great, I say great, back to having a good year, Jonathan Papelbon, their short reliever for the last half decade.
Now, people shouldn't necessarily assume that Papelbon will go elsewhere next year.
That's right. That's true.
You know, because he could sign with the Red Sox. They have a good thing going with these two.
Oh, boy, do they ever. They eliminate the 8th and 9th innings.
Different than the style Joe Madden has to use when he has situations, lefties, righties, righties. He doesn't have a true setup man at this point.
No, that's what Joe was telling us before the game. I don't have a 7th, 8th. I don't have the luxury of having a 7th or 8th inning guy. Some teams do. The Red Sox do. I don't.
And they certainly do in Bard, the 26-year-old from Charlotte. Played his college ball at the University of North Carolina. Last pitched on Sunday. Up high, and a full count now to B.J. Upton. Bard leading the American League with 21 holes of leads.
They ought to do something with that too. They meaning Major League Baseball. I mean, here it is in the box score, and it's not an official stat.
Upton pops it up, and a play for Adrian Gonzalez in the first base coaching box makes the play, so Bard gets Upton to retire the side. Dick Stockton along with Tim McCarver. We move to the 8th inning, and the Red Sox facing Cesar Ramos. J.D. Drew 1 for 3 with an RBI double. It was a big run. Gave the Red Sox a 6-3 lead. 1-0 to Drew. 1 for 3, and his RBI was his 22nd of the season. And a call strike 1-1. In his 5th season with the Red Sox, Drew has had at least 64 runs batted in the first 4 years, but only 22 here. So the Red Sox looking for a healthier second half with the bat from Drew. Zobrist making the play, and Drew is retired. Let's go back to Tuesday's All-Star game, and let's pick up home plate umpire Dale Scott.
I'll tell you what. Seriously.
How complicated is your scorecard at an All-Star game? And Tim, this was your scorecard Tuesday night.
I am between embarrassment and shame. I just in the 7th inning,
Cam?
I forgot about it. I was going to ad-lib it. Wing it, baby.
Wow.
Because I could not keep up with that game.
Incredible.
Must have been the water in Phoenix or something. I'm telling you. I mean, this thing, I know I have poor penmanship, number one, but it's not that bad. But it was for that game.
I can read this.
I mean, if you it is legible.
I look at it for a half hour, I can actually read a name. Saltalamacchia, the batter.
Looks like something they'd find in Spain on a wall somewhere. It's about 5,000 years old. Huh?
Hieroglyphics.
You got it.
Right?
You got it.
What a great thing. And it must be. But
things go so fast and furious during the All-Star game that you don't have time. You have all the changes. You're not sure where they're hitting and everything. And that's what Dale Scott was laughing about. So if the umpires, and that's their business, of course it's our business too, but we're not graded on it. But Dale Scott just laughed and said, forget about it.
Well, we won't forget about the fact that this was your 20th All-Star game as a broadcaster.
Nice. Thank you.
Which speaks to your phenomenal longevity in this business.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Anyone can pop in and do a year, 2 years, whatever it is, and be at the highest level. And do World Series and All-Star games. It's just I'm really proud of you.
It's amazing you can do it that long and you can't write.
Touche, as Saltalamacchia goes down swinging, and there's 2 out. And now it's time for the Just for Men Keep Your Edge spotlight. And just as Josh Reddick, Jacoby Ellsbury, and here's Ellsbury. And let's not forget the little second baseman, Dustin Pedroia, give the Red Sox the edge. You too can keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard. And just keep those eyes clear as well, Jacoby. Josh Reddick fouls off the first pitch. 2-run homer in the second. Reached on an error in the 6th, 1 for 3.
Red Sox knew they would be good this year. I'm not too sure they thought they would have this type offense. I mean, this offense is just a juggernaut for the Sox. Get all their starting pitchers back healthy with Bard and Papelbon in the bullpen. You talk about things shaping up for a long postseason in New England.
Well, John Lester on the DL. They've been cautious with him, and they're hopeful that the date July the 22nd, he'll return to action. Clay Buchholz is going to be a little bit longer with his lower back strain. And they're happy to have Andrew Miller doing what he did. They always have Tim Wakefield in case you need him. 1-2-3 inning for Ramos. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning. Let's see. I can read that. Prince Fielder, McCann,
there are a couple.
Berkman, Matt Holliday. It's easy. AT&T. We're going to tell you about that in a little bit. Sponsored by a couple of our great sponsors here who have been part of our broadcasts on Fox. Meanwhile, Sam Full leading off here in the 8th inning. 0 for 3, struck out his last 2 times up and bounced into a double play. Facing Daniel Bard, and shows bunt and takes up high ball 1. Bard came in and got the 3rd out of the 7th inning. B.J. Upton. And now facing the bottom 3rd of the Rays order. Two 2-0 to Fold.
I think it takes an order right now with the Rays trailing by 3 and Full trying to fight his way on.
Two and 1. John Lackey started, worked 5 2/3 innings, gave up 4 runs, 3 earned, 10 hits, struck out 7 and walked 1. Came out of the game and not very pleased about it, but the Red Sox relievers have done the job. Well, a leadoff single by Sam Fuld in sliding to prevent the ball getting by, but Fuld gets into second anyway with a double to start the 8th inning.
Sam Fuld chooses a 2-1 fastball and rips it in the right center. And can he ever fly? Good play by J.D. Drew to slide and keep it in front of him. If that ball gets by, Fuld at least goes to 3rd. And they talk about it here in St. Petersburg about the legend of Sam Fuld. Ben McGrath of the New Yorker did a terrific piece about a month ago on Sam Fuld. And I'm telling you, it was the classic overachiever is at second base with nobody out right now.
Kelly Shopping. Breaking ball down low. And a pinch hitter is in there. And the new catcher, Jose Lobaton, has come up for Kelly Shopping. So Lobaton came up from AAA when John Jaso went on the DA. This is his first stint with the Rays. But not the first time he's been in the big leagues. Good fastball by Bard. Foul tipped into the glove of Saltalamacchia, and it's 1-1. Lobaton hit .293 with 8 homers and 31 runs batted in Durham. Played 7 games for the Padres 2 seasons ago. Chop, shortstop. Runner has to go back to second. Scudero makes the play. And there's 1 away. Runner remains at second. Today's game presented by AT&T is sponsored by Viagra and by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. And I knew we'd get to credit our fine sponsors.
Absolutely.
And we do there. So there's 1 away. And Reed Brignac coming up. He is 2 for 3, a pair of singles. In the air to center field. Ellsbury makes the catch, faking the tag, and going back to second is Fuld. So there are 2 down, and Johnny Damon will step up.
In that article by Ben McGrath in the New Yorker, he talked about how Sam Fuld's parents were educators. He went to Exeter, one of the finest prep schools in the country, then went to Stanford. His wife, Sarah, also went to Exeter. And in the winter, they play catch. But there's a twist to it.
A catch to it.
There's a catch to it, yes. Thank you. And the catch is that Sarah was on the lacrosse team at Exeter. And Sam, of course, the baseball team. So Sam throws to Sarah, and she catches the ball in her lacrosse net. Takes it out, throws it back. That's how he works out as far as throwing is concerned in the winter.
That is really.
I mean, that got
unusual.
me. I've never heard that before. But he and Sarah played catch. He with his arm and glove, and she with her net. Gotta love it. 29 years old, played in the minors in the Cubs organization for so long. Finally got a chance when Manny Ramirez left on April 6th. And here he is, and he is just hugely popular in this area.
Fans love him, and Joe Madden loves him even more.
That's right. His nickname for him is Everyman.
Great name for him. 1-1. There goes the runner to the third. The pitch taken for a strike. And Sam Fuld, the Everyman, steals third. That's the third stolen base of the game for the Rays.
See, looking for where the second baseman is, and he can walk to third and almost does.
Since 2009, the Rays have stolen 66 bases against the Red Sox, the most by any team in baseball against any opponent. 1-2, the count to Damon with 2 down. 7-4, the Red Sox in front, and there's a strike 3 pitch to Damon, who goes down. So Bard does his job. He sets things up for Papelbon. 7-4, and we go to the ninth. Field of Dreams promotion, where you and your friends could win a chance to play ball with MLB legends. Visit Pepsi Max Field of Dreams online to enter today. Remember, if you build it, they will come. And Brandon Gomes' first pitch to Marcos Scudero is a strike, and the new catcher is Jose Lobaton, who came in to pinch hit for Kelly Shopik in the bottom of the 8th inning. We're in the top of the ninth. The Red Sox lead the Rays 7-4. Rays have out-hit him 11-7, and there have been 3 errors in the game, 2 by the Red Sox, featuring 2 of the top 3 defensive teams in the American League. Two and one now to Scudero. Marcos Scudero has struck out twice, has walked once today. Ball striked. Evens it at 2-2. And a ground ball going to his left is Brignac, and his throw not in time and sliding into first base is Scudero, and Brignac shaken up.
I think he turned an ankle. I think he turned his left ankle on the pivot. Little pirouette right here. That's the only way he can make the play. Feet got a little tangled, and Reed appears to be all right. He's walking it off. Could be a little mild sprain. You could see what happened. I think it's his left ankle. And Scudero diving into first base with an infield hit. Watch the left ankle. There.
So a leadoff infield hit, and Jacoby Ellsbury takes a strike.
One more time. A little better shot right here. Watch the left ankle, right here. That's when it turned in.
So both shortstops have had problems in the field. Scudero right off the top with a finger injury, but played through it and played well. And here's Brignac. It's a nice still shot of Brignac on that play.
Well, it's tough to make that make that throw. He had too much to do, and Scudero with too much speed.
Ellsbury with a home run and a single, also has struck out twice. But a productive day for the Red Sox leadoff hitter as he fouls it off. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. James Shields worked 6 innings, allowed 6 runs on 6 hits. Shields was looking for a good start to the post All-Star sequence of the season and was staked to an early 3-0 lead. But the Red Sox, as they often do, came back with those big bats. And the glove of the catcher foul tip, and it's going to be a catcher interference call against Lobaton.
Yeah, you can imagine Jose Lobaton, just up in the big leagues, really doesn't know how far and to stand behind a particular hitter like Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury fooled on the pitch, and when you're fooled on a pitch like that, you swing late. Looked like Lobaton tried to get the glove in there, and Ellsbury just knocked it off his hand. So it's an error on the catcher and interference called on Lobaton. Let's give a listen. He made firm contact, and that could damage the back of the left hand. He was fortunate.
Anything like that you experienced as a catcher?
About 13 times or 14 times. That's all.
Glad you're coming clean.
Hey, finally, I got it off my chest.
Here's Pedroia. And the breaking pitch for the strike.
That catcher's interference has been bothering me for 50 years.
Yes, I can see. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Pedroia with a home run his last time up, a solo shot. He's 1 for 4 in the game. Scudero at second, Ellsbury at first. Red Sox looking to add on here in the top of the 9th inning. Check swing and a foul, so it's 0-2 to Pedroia. 7 home runs in this series. So you would say, well, I'm sure that Gonzalez, Ortiz, Youkilis, they had to go deep. Not so. 2 each by Ellsbury and Pedroia. And Reddick, Scudero yesterday, and Darnell McDonald as well.
The table setters in this series are dining alone.
That's down low, 1-2. Jake McGee and Adam Russell working in the Rays bullpen.
Boy, Gomes wanted this pitch awfully close.
Gomes is from Fall River, Massachusetts. And I believe I may be wrong. This is the home of Jerry Remy. There's a ground ball, gloved nicely by Longoria, but can't make a play, and everybody is safe. The bases are loaded, and an infield hit by Pedroia, his second of the game. And the bases are loaded with nobody out.
This top of the ninth for the Red Sox looks like the top of the first, or the bottom of the first, for the Rays. They scored 3 runs, sloppy play by the Red Sox, and now a catcher's interference and a ball that Evan Longoria normally sucks up and didn't.
Joe Madden is out, and we will see our 5th pitcher of the day for the Rays. Jake McGee coming in. Nevada pitched to one batter in the 7th last night, struck out Jacoby Ellsbury, called up after the break for his second stint and had 9 saves at the AAA Durham Farm Club. And with the bases loaded, none out, all he has to do is face Adrian Gonzalez.
Yeah, and the infield in.
Scudero at third, Ellsbury at second, Pedroia at first. Red Sox leading by 3 runs, and Papelbon has been warming up. Right now, it's a save opportunity for Jonathan Papelbon.
Right. One more run, it's not, however.
Gonzalez 0 for 3 has walked once and has scored one of the Red Sox runs. Strike to Gonzalez.
For those of you who may not know, a save opportunity goes away when the team scores more than 3 runs. If they're more than 3 runs ahead, no save opportunity.
You come in during an inning and the tying run is on deck,
then it's a different story.
Right. 2 strikes now to Adrian Gonzalez.
I thought for the sake of simplicity, I'd just leave it at 3 runs.
Yes, that's right.
Instead of going into all of the save rule.
Well, let me get that rule book out now, Tim. I think now's the time to turn to page 211. That's what the viewers want right now.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
No balls, 2 strikes to Gonzalez. Bases loaded, none out. The infield in. Red Sox trying to add to their 3-run lead here in the top of the 9th inning against the Rays.
That was hittable. That's the one thing Jake did not want to do, is pitch Adrian Gonzalez like it was 2-0 instead of 0-2. Gonzalez can handle that pitch.
Doing a good job at the plate with the count 0-2. Very busy man at the All-Star game. Hit a home run to give the American League a 1-0 lead. National League won the game, and they'll have home field advantage in the World Series as you look at the infield in with the bases loaded. And of course, taking part in the home run derby on Monday. 0-2 pitch. Foul ball into the Rays bullpen. And here was the home run that you witnessed on Tuesday.
0-1 pitch against Cliff Lee of the Phillies.
Didn't last long, that 1-0 lead. So Gonzalez, who is 0 for 7 in this series, strikes out for the second time, and there's one away. And time now for a direct TV game break. Throwback uniforms. Edwin Jackson hit on a drive by Don Kelly, but the Tigers get out of it when Kelly flies out. And Jackson with a complete game, 5-0 shutout. And Jackson's last shutout was the no-hitter here at the Trop for the Arizona Diamondbacks. A pitching change, Adam Russell coming in, and we'll be right back. Experiences laid out right before your eyes, and then we break it down to find out how they survived. The Indestructibles, an all-new special tonight at 9, 8 Central on Fox. Adam Russell facing Kevin Youkilis, and ball 1 to Youkilis, who is 1 for 3 with a single and has scored a run today. Red Sox leading 7-4, and with 1 out, the infield is moved back, and the pitch is in for a strike. 1-1. It was in for Gonzalez, and McGee did a good job striking him out.
Yeah, hopeful, Joe Madden, hopeful that Youkilis hits a ball hard, a ground ball hard at somebody in the infield, so they can turn the double play, of course.
2-1 now. Adam Russell, 28 years old. Last pitch Saturday at Minnesota, and acquired from the San Diego Padres. And a lot of pitchers on this Rays team have come from San Diego.
Well, 3 came in in one trade. The trade, Jason Bartlett, the fine shortstop of the Padres, came for 3 guys who are in the bullpen. Not only Gomes and Ramos, but Adam Russell.
So Russell 2-2 now to Youkilis. Bases loaded and pitches in tight and a full count. So Russell's gone the distance here. Scudero at third, reached on an infield hit. Jacoby Ellsbury reached on catcher interference, an error charge to Lobaton, and then Pedroia with an infield hit to third and reaching out and getting a piece of it. Count remains 3-2, 1 out here in the top of the ninth. Red Sox trying to even this series at 1 apiece. And they have Josh Beckett, who did not work the second inning as planned in the All-Star game because of a gimpy knee, but he'll be pitching tomorrow against Jeff Neiman. As Youkilis making Russell work here. Eighth pitch coming up for Youkilis. And another ball out of play.
That's another thing about this Boston lineup. They wear pitchers out with long at bats. That's something that's often overlooked. Instead of putting those balls in play, the ones you want put in play, they foul them off. It's very frustrating.
And ball 4, and Youkilis walks, and Russell forces in a run. Scudero will cross the plate, and the Red Sox now lead it 8-4. Everyone advances a base as Ellsbury goes to third, Pedroia to second, and Youkilis with an RBI, now 65 on the year.
A 9-pitch at bat. 5 pitches to get to 3-2, 3 foul balls, and he walks on a 3-2 slider.
Great at bat for Youkilis.
It really was.
And David Ortiz coming up. So Ortiz facing a right-hander. 2-run double back in the third. He's 1 for 4. And 1-0 to Ortiz. Ortiz with 9 Grand Slam homers in his career. Good stop by Lobaton, and you've got a dangerous runner at third in Ellsbury.
What the Rays are employing now is a condensed version of the shift. They're bringing in their second baseman. You may remember, with nobody on with David Ortiz, they pushed the second baseman back into right field. But now you need the double play, so you have to bring the infielder in.
And Ortiz pops it up foul and out of play behind the Red Sox dugout.
Here's one more time. Instead of being out here as the second baseman was, he's in close. And the reason for that, they need to turn the double play. No other option.
Nothing to gain by a ball in which a run will score.
Right.
And off of the pitcher, Russell recovers the throw to first, and it's in time, but the run will score, and Ortiz gets the job done. So Youkilis walks with the bases loaded. Ortiz wraps one back to the mound, picks up his 58th run batted in of the year, and the Red Sox now are up 9-4.
Adam Russell is a big guy. How about that? Between the legs, backhanded, stopped the ball. Had he not stopped the ball, it's probably a 6-3 double play. It's similar to the ball Ortiz hit in his first at bat of the game. But, you know, you're competitive. You're trying to stop the ball. He did. Thought about coming home and then went to first for the only out as another run pushed across.
So J.D. Drew, the batter, with 2 outs, runners at second and third, and a called strike. So Red Sox getting 2 runs here in the 9th inning and lead 9-4. Drew today knocked in a run with a double in the third inning. That was a big inning for the Red Sox when they scored 3 times. Pedroia with the lead at third, Euclid at second, and a called strike. 0-2 now to Drew. So an orthodox way for the big hitters of the Red Sox to drive in runs. A bases loaded walk and an out. Back to the mound, and Drew ends it by striking out, but the Red Sox get 2 runs, and we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Red Sox 9, Rays 4. AT&T Rethink Possible. And Jonathan Papelbon not in a safe situation coming on. It was a 3-run lead. The Red Sox added 2 in the top of the 9th. And he'll be facing Ben Zobrist, Casey Kochman, and Evan Longoria. So Papelbon making his 38th appearance of the year. Picked up his 20th save and 21 opportunities last Sunday against the Orioles. And his 6th season as the Red Sox closer, and made quite a comeback this year from a disappointing 2010.
You know why? That's why it's unusual that this is his 17th non-save situation of the year. That's a lot for your closer. Take Mariano Rivera of the Yankees. There's no way he'd have 17 non-save situations. But it also tells you that the Red Sox offense is so powerful that they don't have a lot of save situations. They don't play close games. So if you're going to get Papelbon into the game, you've got to get him into a game like this, for instance, when the save is irrelevant.
And you do, because this is his first appearance since the All-Star break.
Right, exactly.
So he hadn't pitched in a while, so he's just really getting work here.
Yeah, right.
Ball's behind. Zobrist 3-0. Zobrist has been on base 3 times today with a single, a walk, and he was hit by a pitch. 1 for 2 officially, and scored a run. There's a strike. I wonder what it does, Tim, to a relief pitcher like Papelbon, who's primed to come in a safe situation. Not that he isn't professional enough, but then has to wait, and all of a sudden more runs are scored.
Probably. Yeah, it weighs a little bit. He's got to understand the ultimate message Terry Francona is sending to him, that, you know, you're out there to get work in case we need you tomorrow.
And Scudero making the catch way out in center field for the first out. Budweiser is searching for the best crew of friends in America. Find out how to play and register your crew at bandofbuds.com. Again, fans, bandofbuds.com. One out, and Casey Kochman, 1 for 4, first inning single, and knocked in the first run of the game for the Rays. They took a 3-0 lead, getting 4 hits in the first inning behind James Shields, but then the Red Sox went to work. Ball 1 inside. The Red Sox coming back with 2 in the second on a Josh Reddick 2-run homer. 3 in the third. Back-to-back doubles by Ortiz and Drew. Big Papi driving in a pair and Drew driving in one, and then Ellsbury homered in the 4th inning. One and one now to Kochman. The producer of today's game is Jeff Gowan, and the director is Ray Tipton. The associate director is Eric Billigmeyer, and the associate producer is Andy Kavanaugh. Technical producer Craig Marlowe, and the technical director is Rick Tugman. The pregame show was produced by Don Bowie, and our thanks to our technical and production crew for their work today in St. Pete. 1-1 pitch and a drive hit to right field. Drew chasing it near the wall, leaps, and it's off the wall. Kochman on his way to second, will round second, go to third. Here comes the throw, not in time, and a triple for Casey Kochman.
Triple or double, it doesn't matter. I mean, the Rays are trailing by 5. This ball hitting the top of the fence. It didn't look like Kochman thought he got it enough. It hit that metal mesh between the yellow line and the green cushion and rolled back toward the infield. J.D. Drew, who had gone up for the play, had to chase it down. By that time, Casey had his second triple of the year.
So 12 hits for the Rays. 3 extra base hits. The homer by Joyce, double by Fold, and this triple by Kochman. Here's Evan Longoria with 1 out. Kochman at third in a 9-4 game. And a line drive to right field. It's a base hit. Run will score, and Longoria driving in his 43rd run of the year. And it is now 9-5. So they always can use those tack-on runs.
Well, going back to your point, Dick, that I think was a good one in this half inning. You ask about Papelbon, the non-save situation. You know, he's miffed because here he gave up an earned run, a triple, and now a single, and chances of more. But, you know, there are situations where, again, you just have to be able to make the call, particularly in this situation.
And there's a ground ball handled by Gonzalez, and he'll outrace Joyce to the bag. Longoria was running on the pitch and would have made second without a play. Joyce is retired for the second time, and there are 2 down here in the ninth. Longoria at second.
I'll tell you, Joyce running hard down the line. Remember, he hit that foul ball off his right knee before the home run, and he looks like that knee is really bothering him.
No question about that, as he's had a great year, all-star, big game today, home run after fouled one off of his knee. And you saw that very clear. B.J. Upton takes a strike. So there are 2 down. Longoria is at second here in the ninth. Red Sox can go 50-0 when leading after 8 innings, which is a testimony to the leads they've had, as Tim had mentioned before, and the setup man and their closer.
Here's Joyce out of the box, running as hard as he can, trying to beat the play for a hit. I don't even think he stepped on first base, but really wincing after the out was made.
No balls and 2 strikes. Papelbon to B.J. Upton. Now 1-2. Upton with a pair of hits today and a stolen base. Rays won last night's game 9-6. Red Sox leading 9-5 here. 1-2 pitch up high. Yankees won earlier, beating the Blue Jays 4-1. So a Red Sox win will get them back to the game-and-a-half lead over the Yankees and get back to 6 games advantage over the Rays before this series started. The 2-2. And Upton stays alive. Red Sox using 4 pitchers today. Lackey, Randy Williams in his Red Sox debut working an inning. Daniel Bard and now Papelbon. Shields working 6. And then Cruz, Ramos, Gomes, McGee, and Russell. That's Longoria. Long stare by Papelbon. Strike 3 and the game is over as Upton goes down swinging, and the Red Sox have won it 9-5 and have evened the series at 1 apiece. They get long ball from the people you don't expect. And the final score 9-5. Lackey the winner, Shields the loser, and we'll wrap things up from St. Petersburg right after these messages from your local Fox station.